Hello, hello. Hey, Xyletics. I accidentally let the intro run for too long. I normally try to let it only run for like 40 seconds. It was a minute or something. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, today we're going to continue with localization stuff, and we're going to start by looking at ABC's analyzer that they made yesterday. I created this standalone code analysis tool template in Visual Studio. Change code only in Format Analyzer, and some resources. 5 projects in this template, but you only need String Format Analyzer for analyzer code and this for a NuGet package. To debug it, you can use this in this method. Okay. Let's take a look. Where is it? This dot package and string format analyzer. Yeah, here we go. So how does this work? All right, let's take a look at this. This is... Hey, Chef Alton. It's been interesting to watch so far. You know, I was in Cavino's stream yesterday because I rated him, and he's like, why is localization hard? You just use the TR and TRN functions and then get community contributions. And I was thinking, oh man, I wonder how the community contributions worked for him. I'm not saying he's wrong or anything. It is generally supposed to be pretty easy to set this stuff up. But the way I was imagining doing this is we would generate these template files and then like feed them into a translator service and then use community contributions after that. And anyway, we'll set this stuff up. Yeah, I don't think Cavino's being a jerk or wrong or something by saying that stuff. I just thought it was funny because I was like, man, I am spending a lot of time compared to what he sort of insinuated there. I think the other thing that matters is how much text you have. Like, let's say we had, I don't know, 10 blobs of text. I probably wouldn't make a bunch of tooling for this because we would just get those 10 blobs of text translated and we'd be done. But yeah, there's quite a lot. All right, so how does this work? You can change these strings in the resources.resx file. What is that? Resources.resx there. Oh, I think I understand. Let me reload this. Analyzer title. Translation bad. Yeah, so I will need to modify these. All right, naming. Act on syntax instead of an addition of symbols. This is where all the magic happens. All right, so what are we looking at? Match string.format or system.string.format. Okay. Okay, check if the first argument is a call to translate. Invocation expression. Get the symbol info. Check if it's translate. Get argument to translate should be a constant string. Get the argument. Then start parsing it for these things. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Wow. Okay, so we got to pull this into the project, and I think totally know how to do this. They mentioned there being a package for NuGet. It's kind of interesting that they have enough tooling, Visual Studio, to do this sort of thing. I don't think I need this. I think I just need the analyzer. Still, I'm not totally sure how to do this. C# add custom analyzer to project. Hey Mars, good morning. To a project without what? Yeah, this. Okay, this is what I want. You can add an analyzer via a project reference with output item type set to analyzer. Oh, okay. This seems pretty easy. So, we just got to figure out where we're adding this. We should probably put this in source. We don't have an analyzers thing, but I wonder if it should be in tooling or something. Can you, yeah, you can link to another project in a different folder. I think we should probably put it in tools then. All right, well, let's try it. Let's just see if this works. So can you put a sharp inside of a folder name? Does this work on Windows? Is anyone on Windows right now and can tell me, is a pound sign a valid character on Windows for a directory? Windows directory invalid character. Works for you? Okay. You know, I wonder if we should just bypass this altogether and just write C# analyzers. Yeah. Just in case there's some file system where it doesn't work or it makes it harder to access through the shell. But yeah, thank you for testing that, Chef Alton. Okay, so now we add the analyzer like so in our game CS proj. Yeah. Okay, there's the reference to it. So it's going to be ... slash, let's just go to it directly. So we go ... tools C# analyzers. Yeah. And then we're going to call this string format analyzer. Okay. Now I need to go download the analyzer. What is this designer.cs? I don't know what this is. But I think I want to download all of these. So let's go clone the whole repo. Temp git clone this. cd string format analyzer. String format. Actually, I guess go up one and then just take this folder and put this over here. So then this is not the path anymore. That's the path. And now what do I do? Just reload this? I think that's all it should take, and it should just be working. I need to fix some of this up. But yeah, let's say we have a string.format translate hello, and then don't put an argument there. It should find this as an error. Get ability description tooltip calls format, but does not use the new string instance that the method returns. Okay, that's not the problem. String x equals this. Return x plus this there. Okay. So it's not detecting that this is an issue, which either means that I haven't installed the analyzer correctly or that the analyzer isn't doing what I expect it to be doing. There's an OBJ folder in here, so probably I got this to be used correctly. I'm not actually sure. I gotta clean up the coding style of this. Clean up the code to match our code base. And like modify the title, description, etc. Give credit to ABC667 and put it in licenses. ABC. Oh, by the way, ABC, I wanted to ask, you don't explicitly have a license here. Are you okay with me using this in Skeleseller? Because that's pretty important. All right, so something might be wrong over here. We're doing string.format, and then the first thing needs to be translate, and then there needs to be one argument to translate, and then something in here must be going wrong. I wonder if I should just try debugging this as was mentioned. To debug analyzer, you can use this in the initialize method. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's put this here. Yeah. All right, so I'm not actually totally sure how we debug this, but if I put a breakpoint here, let's just look this up. VS Code debug C# analyzer. They don't mention debugging on this page. Like I probably need a launch.json or something, right? Out of curiosity, if I just reload this, what happens? Because again, I have no idea if anything's actually working right now. But it's only implicitly running. Not part of the active workspace. What document? This one? Huh. Why wouldn't this be part of the workspace? What workspace do I even have open? Add folder to workspace, save workspace as. Let's just save this in here. Oh God. I've probably made a mistake. Where'd that workspace file go? Here it is. What is it? No. I want to open this as text. All right, well, whatever. Let's just get the path to this then. And just cat it. It's everything in the Skeleseller folder. Yeah, and this is in the Skeleseller folder. I wonder why it's saying this doesn't... Did I load this from the wrong place? No, I didn't. They're all in the Skeleseller thing. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. You can't even really see this, I guess, but there's a... Well, now it's gone. There's a message down there saying that this wasn't part of... Yeah, here it is. I'll just take a picture of this. It's... Oops. It's this. The active document is not part of an open workspace. I don't know why that's even happening because this should be in the workspace. Oh, well, let's delete that. That's probably going to cause some issue. Let's just go restart everything. All right, I still got to figure out how to debug this stuff. Strategy for debugging. I want it in VS Code in particular. Build and replace the package with a modified one. The moment code analysis is triggered, it'll ask you to attach the debugger. Maybe that'll only happen, though, if this is considered in the workspace. I'm still not sure why that isn't working. Huh. Need to remove if argument.count is less than 2. Okay. But, well, I guess we can see if this is doing something. Hold on, I don't know if I need to reload this every time or what. I still got to figure out the debugging story for this because that way I can actually see what is going on here. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really tough. All right, so is this running? So far, no. Maybe, can we print things from here? Can we do like console.writeLine? This is a test from Adam. And then in output, maybe figure out. Probably one of these. And it'd probably be really hard to find. What did you do to add the analyzer? I modified the CS project file to point to this thing. I hope I didn't get this wrong. Copy path of active file. And then CD into that. Yeah, that works. And then there's a project file there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's something more I need to do. Build and replace the package with a modified one. Huh. Do we have any other analyzers done this way? Include assets, runtime, build native, content files, analyzers, build transitive. This is because this is a package, though. We just have a project reference. Yeah, we don't have any other project references like this, do we? We do, I guess. I don't know if you can do it without a package. You should be able to, at least according to this. C# project reference analyzer. Can use the project reference with specific properties. So include this, set properties. Oh, you can put all this in one thing. Oh, wait. Oh, we already had this. Oh my God. Oh, it's got to be in its own item group. I didn't realize. I think I'm dumb. Okay, well then we can just do what we have here. And then put output item type equals analyzer. Okay, is that doing something now? I gotta write another note over here. Where's the source generator? Yeah, probably need to modify game.csproj to remove the reference to the source generator if we do this. I still don't think this is running. No, it deleted it. Wait, no, it didn't. Maybe it needs to be in its own item group. I don't actually know what the point of this is. Huh. I don't know if reloading is needed either. And we might see, I search for Atom. No, that wasn't helpful. But maybe one of these will show it. Or Cloak. Microsoft Prettier Projects. I don't think it's any of that stuff. Like, I don't think this is running still. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not running. I'm not using backslashes here. I don't know if that matters. This one does, even though I'm on Mac, and it definitely works, so we could try it. Complete a reload of all projects. Okay, so, oh, wait, there it is. Restore completed with errors. How do I see the errors? I don't know how we figure this out. Huh. Yeah, huh. Where would we find out more about this? I don't know. It'd be nice if there was a way to like just see every single one of these things at a time. Hey, Phil. Can you try to build? Yeah, I can try to build. String format analyzer. Interesting. Oh, nice. Adam said that you need 1 parameters and you have 0. Okay. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, building is necessary then for that. And then how do we debug this? And did this is a test from Adam actually go anywhere? This is a test. Oh, nice. It is going somewhere. Okay. So at the very least, we can do that. And it's just from C#. I should probably write a note about this. C#. Oh boy. Okay, so writing analyzers. No, it's probably easiest to start this flow from Visual Studio itself, not from VS Code. I think it handles a lot of the boilerplate. From VS Code though, oh, you know what else we should try is, can we put this into here? I think you need to rebuild if you change code of analyzer. Yeah, to use an analyzer you wrote without just installing it as a package. Hey, Shaky. All right, so include a project reference as mentioned here. Include a project reference as mentioned here. And then rebuild your project. Console.writeLine calls from the analyzer will show in the C# output in VS Code. But yeah, how do we debug this now? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take a look. Do we have debugger.launching the other one? No, because that would have implied that Kevin would have done this before. Interesting. C# version is older than ours. What if we should update that? Hey, Suze. This is where the magic happens. That's what it's probably supposed to say. Yeah. I'm still not sure how to debug this. C# VS Code debug analyzer. They mentioned putting this here. Build and replace the DLL. The moment code analysis is triggered, it'll ask you to attach. It didn't ask me to attach though, right? Huh. Maybe the initialize needs to be put in the beginning of this? I don't think it matters, probably. Well, maybe it does. Who knows? And then rebuild. I don't see this working. Yeah. Launches and attaches a debugger to the process. True if startup is successful. Okay, so then it makes me wonder. Let's reload the whole window. I'm just curious. I wonder if it's going to pop up that notification saying something isn't part of the workspace. Because we know this line is being hit. And yeah, it still says the active document is not part of an open workspace. Not part of the open workspace. I don't know how that's possible. This is inside the Skeleseller folder. Everything should be part of that workspace. Unless it's somehow ignored, but I don't think it can be. All right, well, let's get more information on this. VS Code, the active document is not part of the open workspace. Dev kit doesn't engage because the active document is not part of it. Code space doesn't have access to anything that's not part of its workspace. I have the same issue working with a directory that contains multiple .NET projects. Tried creating a solution file and adding it, but it didn't work either. Could not fix the problem or find any help. The cause is the file name. What? Just rename the thing until it stops? This sounds oddly familiar. But what if we just restart VS Code altogether? This is kind of crazy. It's going to ask me to attach now. All right, well, all of this is orange. I don't know what orange means here. So yeah, let's try renaming this to tools, even though it's already named tools. That doesn't do anything. What if we rename it to tools 2? Now it's green. No, now it's orange again. Now let's rename it back to tools. Wow. What is causing this? So there's a solution in solution issue for me. Scoping VS Code to the lowest level solution fix the issue. Issue seems related to the extension not handling multiple nested solutions well. Do I even have multiple solutions? No, I just have the one. Although that solution probably doesn't reference the other project. I probably need to add it. Oh, it does have tools as a project? Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. But yeah, there's some way to add a thing, .NET solution add. Yeah. I think I just need to do this. Although I have no idea if that's actually what's correct. So my project.sln, what is it actually called? Game.sln, and where is it located? It's in, oh, it's just in the root thing. Yeah, so game.sln, add, and then I got a scope to the project thing. So tools, C# analyzers, whoops, string format analyzer.csproj. Added the solution. All right, did that fix things? Who knows? Maybe we need to rebuild. Maybe we need to just modify code. Did it even detect that it's... I guess orange doesn't mean anything. This is definitely part of this. I'm going to try... yeah, I'll try rebuilding. We can actually even rebuild string format analyzer. Oh, I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, it made string format analyzer again. Still not asking me to break in. Let's reload this one more time. I'm just taking shots in the dark right now. I've got to figure out how we can debug this. And yeah, I think that notification isn't showing up anymore saying that this isn't part of the workspace. And yet it is definitely not asking me to debug this. I have the breakpoint still, right? I do. Wow, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'll copy this over to my notes that we have at the bottom here. But I don't know if this is even necessary. My project.sln add path to analyzer.csproj. Not sure if this is necessary. What do we do? Debug .NET console application using Visual Studio Code. I mean, it's not a console application. Can you check ID debugger.launch even works in your setup by adding it to game code? Yeah, sure. The thing is, I already have the debugger set up for this, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is gonna do anything. Did it do something? I guess this is what the real code is, just if it's not attached, then launch. But it should be attached. In fact, if I put a breakpoint here, we should see that it's attached. So I think this is going to be true already. Yeah, it's already true because we launched in such a way that had it attached by default. So yeah, it doesn't have an impact there, but it's not attached here. So then this launch should do something. Let's try this and rebuild. Sure, rebuild this. I don't know if it's going to have any impact. And then rebuild this. No, that doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah, I'm missing something here. Maybe we need to change launch.json. Although this is only when we're launching. Yeah, this won't work. Doesn't make any sense. All right, well, let's debug Roslyn Analyzer. How to debug Roslyn components in newer versions of Visual Studio. It's gotta be VS Code. No one's even mentioning VS Code in here. This is nuts. Roslinator, collection of analyzers. Does it have debugging? I don't see anything. Yeah. Man, that's too bad. I mean, this is not impossible. I could get by without debugging this, I guess, but it's got to be some way to do this. I wonder what you do in Rider for this. Because maybe it's a similar process over here. Debugging a source generator. Launch settings. They have a launch setting thing here. Debug generators? This would lead me to believe that there's something I can do in this file. VS Code launch.json Roslyn. Is it this? Interesting. Did they have... Yeah, this is pretty interesting. This might actually work. They're running the actual DLL that gets generated and then passing in all the different paths. Hey, Bats. And hey, Smurf. You can debug C# applications using Microsoft C# extension. I have this. I just don't know how to do it specifically for Roslyn. Apparently you can, well, let's... Oh, I don't have that. Oh, because it's got to be in a folder. Like this. Debug tests. Run tests with coverage. This is probably old, whatever this looked like. What does debug tests even do? No test found. Okay, well, that was... I think this is the solution over here. I think we got to do something like this. And I think it's going to be a little bit tedious to figure out, but I don't have any better ideas. So I guess let's go do it. So I'll copy this into launch.json. Launch, or maybe we say like string format analyzer. Okay, so program, workspace folder. We got to find that DLL. The DLL is produced right there. So that's all the workspace folder. So it's this that I need. And then runtime artifacts path. I don't know what this stuff is. Maybe just the workspace folder / source. No, it'd be game / source if anything. But that's artifacts path. I don't know what, is that a well-known argument or is that something else? This has assemblies, references, debug, and source. Maybe let's just not try passing anything in here. See what happens. Yeah. And then current working directory, let's have it be the /game folder. Stop at entry, console, internal console. Okay, sure, whatever, I don't know. And then try running this. I have very little hope this is going to work. Exit with code 131. Target process exited without raising a core CLR started. Sure that the target process is configured to use .NET Core. Okay. I don't think I can do that other than with just core CLR. Plus, that's what these things did, right? Launch, pre-launch task is build. Sure. Actually, by the way, if I don't already have that for the release tool, I should. No, I do. Then the program is just a DLL. Tools standard bin debug. Tools C# bin debug net standard. Yeah, it's right there. Anything else in here? Fatal error. Library required to execute the application was not found. Failed to run as a self-contained app. Runtime config was not found. This should be a framework dependent app. Add runtime config. Do they have runtime configs in here? Runtime config template. They don't have any other files though. Just the template. Roll forward equals major. We could try adding that. I am not hopeful that's going to do anything. VS Code launch.json DLL. I don't know. If this didn't show anything, then I don't expect anything else is probably going to show something. Debug and open specific URL. I wonder what my other options even are here. Because it seems like no one has done this, or very few people are talking about it. Yeah, we found this. How to configure to debug a unit test. Not what I want. Enable debug Roslyn component launch settings.json command support. VS Code.NET tools. I'm unable to figure out how to get this to work. I'm guessing it's unsupported. It'd be great to be able to debug them in VS Code. Yeah, that would be nice. And no one has commented on this at all. I don't know if this is even the same. Yeah, it must be the same thing. Has anyone else talked about debugging in here? Debug VS Code? Presumably no, because that issue is 2 years old. What if I just search for VS Code? I didn't expect to get stuck here. Yeah, this is a shame. I don't see any open issues on this stuff, which maybe that's a good thing other than that one issue that I found, because maybe it means that there was a close issue on this. There are 300 of these. Let's search for debugger.launch. What does that show? And maybe also VS Code. One issue. Are they using VS Code? They are. Well, they said initially. Oh, man. What else would I need to do for this to work? Well, how about this? Can I debug the other one that we have? The source generator thing? There must be some initialize in there too, right? There isn't, but I guess we can override it. Have you looked at this? Let me take a look. Solve VS Code. Build from VS Code. Run build task. Select an appropriate task, such as build or build current project. Run tests. I think this is for working with Roslyn itself, not with an analyzer written with Roslyn. Yeah. Yeah, this is just for contributing to Roslyn itself. Of course, CLR has some guidelines for specific debugging scenarios. No, I don't think this will help. Man. All right, well, let's test this. What is this thing? It's a diagnostic analyzer. I think we don't even have a diagnostic analyzer. We have something in here. Where does the main thing run? It's got to inherit from something common. Incremental generator, maybe this one. Oh, this hasn't initialized. Okay, so let's just paste this here. No suggestions. Oh, there we go. All right, so now we rebuild the game. I don't even think I did that correctly. There. And then the source generators should automatically run, even just based on this file. Like if I put a space there or something. Yeah, presumably this isn't doing anything. Huh. I wonder if you can run this DLL standalone, and I just need to change what I'm doing for the launch.json file. Wow, that was loud. Hey, Foolbox. Thank you for the raid. How'd the stream go? I only saw that you were streaming this morning, but I didn't get a chance to tune in. We're working on something that I'm like incredibly frustrated by right now. We have, oh man, how do I even start with this? I'm trying to work on a localization sort of framework for Skeleseller. So in the end, we're going to do something like translate okay, and based on your locale, it's going to return something else, possibly even just the string okay again, because most languages probably still say okay. But sometimes we want to format whatever was in here. So we would do something like string.format translate udelt 0 dem, something like this. And then you put in your damage amount afterward. We have an analyzer, a Roslyn analyzer, that is supposed to make sure that if you specify this 0 here, that you actually have another argument afterward. And I cannot figure out how to debug this. Debug the analyzer from VS Code. Doing a lot of balancing, trying to get a playtest ready for Friday. Wow, that's pretty soon. What is it going to be released on Friday? Like, could I play it from my Mac? Because I would try it out. But yeah, shout out to Foolbox. The thing that I'm actually frustrated by right now is not exactly this problem, although I don't think this problem has a solution, or at least not an obvious one. Why did that not work? Oh, because the capitalization matters. Yeah, it's that we're yak shaving right now. Like, I want to move on to what this problem was supposed to solve, but now I'm stuck on just this thing. Actually, be nice if you can playtest that. It's going to be a private playtest on Steam. I see. Yeah. Do you have a Mac you can build from? Because if not, I think making a Mac build is very difficult. All right, what do we do? Do we just give up on this? I think we should give up on this and just work around debugging. Heard it's easier with Godot now, though. No, I don't know for sure, but I thought just building any application, whether it's Godot or whether it's like Hello World, getting it to work for Mac was very difficult without a Mac. But maybe that's not true. Like Godot has a way of exporting to Mac, but I wasn't sure that that process would work from Windows. I guess what you could do is you could just make a new Godot project and then try exporting the empty project to Mac. And if it works, then I guess you're fine. Maybe it's different with GScript because Godot can presumably build itself for Mac and you wouldn't have to do it. Although there would be some signing implications there, right? Hey, Rav. Trying to find something and I think it can be done. Yeah, I think I'm going to give up on this. I think this is probably a mistake. VS proper. Visual Studio should handle a lot of the boilerplate. Use an analyzer you wrote without just installing it as a package. Not sure if that's necessary. Calls from the analyzer. Okay, debugging from VS Code currently seems to be impossible. Or maybe just incredibly difficult. Either way, I gave up on it. All right, so what are we doing? We're linking to this. I think this issue needs to get fixed. Yeah. No, there's also the licensing stuff, but I also heard Steam can take care of part of that. I'm not confident at all about this information. So the signing, Steam will sign your executable, I'm pretty sure. So you don't need an Apple, what's it called? Like dev membership. I forgot what they call it. But you don't need to pay the $100 a year to Apple. So yeah, Steam will handle the certificate chain for you. But I don't think they can build for you. And I don't think Godot can build for you either. The nice thing is, nice or not, I don't know, but Mac Minis are very capable machines, and they're the cheapest of all the Macs now. So a new one is like 600, but if you get a used one, I think that's probably your best bet if you plan on building on Mac a lot. But yeah, that's, I think the cheapest, well, the cheapest way is getting a cloud machine and going that route, remoting into it or something. But then you don't own it. So I guess it all depends on whether you plan on using the Mac at all. All right, let's go undo everything I just did. Yeah, that might be needed and that might be needed. I actually don't know. That's different. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is different. Okay. One of the other options is doing everything in Java, then it doesn't matter what you build it on. Well, you'd still presumably want to bundle your thing as an executable, right? And then it would matter. Because you probably don't want your end users running like Java, a bunch of arguments here. Because then that would work, I guess. But then it's like distributing Python's scripts or something. They just have access to, well, that's not really access. Never mind. I'm rambling. Anyway, the larger task that we're trying to work on is localization stuff. So yesterday I got something working. Where is it? This is really basic, but I set up an Azure account and called into their translator API and passed in hello friend and got the German response here. This is just like going to Google Translate and just typing in hello friend and clicking German. So it's not doing anything super smart. What I found, unfortunately, they have custom translations, which is basically you can train the model yourself. But what they require is 10,000 training sentences in the target language. So if I had 10,000 training sentences, I'd have like translated Skeleseller probably 10 times over. I don't even have 2 training sentences. So we're not going to be able to do this. Hey, Wolf. Anyway, let's get this analyzer working. So I guess we can just test a bunch of different things out. In this particular case, this is correct. This is working. If we then add in another thing here and we say, whoops, and we say 5, for example, that's fine. If I then add this, it finds an error. Yep. And then we add another one and it fixes the error. Cool. Now what happens if I do that? Good. So it's counting unique things that we have here. Anything else I need to consider for this? I don't really think so. I think that's pretty much just the whole analyzer there. And if there are any problems, we could modify this. All right, so let's fix up some of the code of this. This is where the magic happens. I'll keep that. This can go away. This can go away. I don't want vars in my code. Use explicit type. Use explicit type. Use pattern matching. Cool. Oh, wait, can we fix all? Oh, nice. Well, that was easy. All right, use pattern matching. We can probably fix all on these. Cool. It's just going to translate everything automatically. Well, the general plan is do machine translations followed by community translations. So basically, you'll open the game. I don't have a picture, and I can't actually launch this that easily, can I? Let me go do this really fast. Okay, so let's say you launch the game in Spanish. So I don't speak Spanish, so I can't come up with these strings myself. So I will probably machine translate a whole bunch of things. A lot of them will be wrong, and you'll see something in Spanish here. So let's say we change to Spanish. Okay, so let's say this string is bad. There's going to be some key you can press on your keyboard, maybe F12, and it's going to tag every single string with a code, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you, I don't know, maybe you press a different key, maybe it's F12 again, it'll open up a form that'll let you say like, hey, what's the string number you want to suggest a translation for? And then you can suggest it. You can say what the target language is. And then I can just go modify it. So I don't know how good this is going to be. And there's like 8 languages I want to translate to. Damn. Hey, Flair. I've got to check out your new trailer. I was too close to streaming, so I didn't get a chance to look at it. All right, so anything else I want to fix up here? Oh, didn't fix this one. Feels over-engineered to me. What would you suggest instead? Because I think the issue, there are basically like 2 routes you can have for translations. It's either involve machines or don't involve machines. If you don't involve machines, then it's you're hiring a human for each language and well, yeah, I'm paying them. And then I guess you just had to pass over a list of strings and they would presumably translate them all. I don't want to spend the money on this, and I don't have a way of validating this anyway. And I don't also want to go through vetting and finding like 8 different people to do this. I think that'll be tough. So yeah, and I don't think you can trust AI or machine translations. Will generally be bad without context. And again, this is one of the most difficult things about this problem in general with translations is you can't validate it yourself unless you speak the language. And not even speak the language, but also understand any cultural significance, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those things where if I said to an AI, like, make me a calculator that can add 2 numbers, at the end of it, I can test it with like, oh, is 4 plus 6 equal to 10? Is, you know, whatever, a giant number plus another number equal to whatever it's supposed to be. I can't do that with translating to Korean or something like that. Now, granted, you can't do it whether you're involving humans or not. At some point, you need to trust what this person or machine is telling you. And then you'll find out through reviews if it turned out to be terrible. I'm using a plugin to handle a CSV, which has a machine translation to start with. That'll open it to my community. Wait, but that's the same general thing, right? Oh, you'll just give this CSV to your community? Oh, I see. All right. Yeah. Okay, take care, Blair. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so that's possible. I think that's putting a little bit more work onto the community translators because, well, and also I guess onto you a little bit because the process is going to be, you'll have like, whatever, 500 strings in this file, right? And someone will need to find a string that's bad and then like change that line and then send the file back. And then you need to merge it with other community contributions. I guess it's who's doing the work. Are you doing it ahead of time or not? Game good yet? Wait, you said game was good last time, Vaj. Game has to be good. Do I even want to put any other work into this? So this is if arg count is less than 2 for string.format. I think this is, yeah, I don't know. I guess we can get rid of this. No, we need to know at least that it's greater than 0. I guess we can do that. Hey, Pickle, could adding it to GitHub or something like that and accept pull request contribution be a good way to approach this? I think that could also potentially work. Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if that's all I should really do for this. It is something worth considering. Do I even need this wrapper function? I guess I'll write this first. We may want to cut a corner with community contributions. We could potentially just put the .pot and .po files on GitHub and let people submit PRs. Guess we had to make these public, right? And then I gotta have some way of merging these back into the game and being resilient to changes. Yeah. This would obviate the tool I was going to write. And probably obviate the F12 idea I had, where it would tag strings. A machine translation for that. I guess the machine translation thing would be easy enough to do. Huh. Okay, well, let's finish the string analyzer, the string format analyzer first. So do we have any other thing here? Like if I do string y equals string.format and I just type in something like this isn't gonna check, whoops, I didn't do that right. This isn't gonna check anything right. No, this will check something. Yeah, because we already have an analyzer for that. So it's only when translate is the first argument? Okay. All right, so then what I need to do, also what happens, can you put a 2 in here? I don't actually know what this means. You need 3 parameters. So it just finds the highest number. What does that mean? C# playground. I assume it has to be in order. So I assume this is how kind of all of this stuff works. String.format 2. Oh, it would mean that, okay, I see. You'd have to type out something like this, and now it's going to print 2. Parenthesis expected. Yeah, it prints 2. And if I didn't have that, it's going to be, it's going to be a runtime error. Yeah. All right. All right, all right, all right. Now, what happens if I had this? Good, 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 good. Cool. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. I don't think we need any like other major changes here. We got to go modify the resources.resx file and change this. The translated string requires this, but you only have that many. Okay. Translation bad, is that what it says? I don't know where that shows up. But I'll say bad translation or bad, poorly formatted translation. Title of the diagnostic. Wait. Does translation bad show somewhere else? Hey, Boolean. Anyway, Fullbox, I do appreciate the suggestion. I don't know if you're still there, but I think cutting out that work for myself would be nice. And as long as the workflow isn't unwieldy, it'll be okay. I do have concerns with the whole like PR route of doing things too. For one, we would only make the translation files public. So it would be a separate repo. I guess we could use a sub module in Git to point to that repo so that it's all the same for us. I need to look into this. But then the other thing, let me write this down in terms of problems. There would have to be a separate repo for the translation so that people don't have access to the code itself. I could probably use a submodule in Git to point to it from the Skeleseller repo. The other problem is that I wanted to tag if something was a machine translation or not. People may modify a string without changing the metadata in the comment. Yeah, I generally don't like using submodules, but I wonder if it would be easiest. Alternatively, we'd need to like pull in changes to the main repo every once in a while from the translation repo, and the files might have changed in the meantime so that it's not so easy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I think I want to get ready to check this in. What else is here? Yeah, if I ever see any of this stuff show up, I'll just change it. But this is what I expect to see. So if I try running this, does this run? Or does it build? It should be considered an error. Like I expect this to print out. It doesn't. So how would I know? How do I get this to be considered an error? Diagnostic severity error. Why is this build then? Or wait, maybe it just doesn't print where I was looking. No, it still builds. What? Okay, hold on, I'm confused. I want to make it so that I can't run the game if this error exists. Like if I just put return here and nothing else, if I try pressing F5, it's gonna spew some errors here. I wonder how to get that to work for this too. Maybe I just change the editor config. But then how do I modify this? String format analyzer. I don't know how I would do that. Roslyn analyzer prevent build. Go from a simple build warning to a build error, or disable it by setting the action to none. Huh. I probably need a way to refer to this rule, which is probably what's done over here somewhere. String format analyzer is the error code. You can change it. What, with severity? Is that what I do? I'm missing something here. Boy. Maybe there's a way to get these to, it's called string format analyzer. Gotcha, yeah. So this should be correct. But then it doesn't seem to block the build. Like it's detecting it as an error. It is highlighting this. Suppress. Suppress in suppression file. What did that just modify? Because wherever it just tried to suppress it, I could just go change. What did it do? I don't know what that just did. Global suppression. Oh, there it is. Oh, colon translation bad. Okay, I see. I need to change that then. Thank you, by the way. Yeah. By the way, I'm going to give the ABC the 3 points for this. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so I probably need to do that same thing. Translation bad. This is analyzer title. Mismatched formatting. And then I put that into editor config. And then try running. That's what it looked like based on global suppressions, at least. No, I'm still doing something wrong. Oh, God. What am I doing? Or maybe I need to rebuild to get it to emit it with the right. Oh, no, I would have rebuilt. So that what I just did is pointless. Well, whatever. We should be able to figure this out. Suppress in source. Huh. List of like life lessons or game dev lessons docs public. Just read all commands, failed at finding it. It might be somewhere in notes or in a blog post I made. I definitely have those lists personally. I don't know if I've made them public. I think what you might be thinking of is game design learnings or something like that. General game design. Maybe this one. I'll paste that directly in chat. But the life stuff is a private note that I have. So yes, I do have those notes. And I've been keeping them up to date still. At least with stuff I learned for myself. But a lot of it's personal or has personal stories in there. All right, so I'm definitely missing something. It looks like this is how you should configure this. There's an option in this quick menu like treat as an error. Let me take a look at that. Suppress, configure, severity, error. So what did that just modify? Aha! Ah, it's .NET Diagnostic String Format Analyzer. I did not realize. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, so now that should work. So now if I try to build, it should fail. It didn't. What's going on? What is going on? Editor config. Huh. It's some VS Code thing. Yeah, I just don't know what it is or how I'm supposed to work around this. Fix? No, not fix. I meant quick fix. Where is it? Suppressor configure. Silent, suggestion, warning, naming analyzers, all analyzers. Yeah, it's got to be this. VS Code automatically added it. It's just not actually treating it as the proper error. I wonder if I need to reload after doing that. It's going to red highlight it again. But the question is, does it stop the build? No. All right, I don't know. All right, let's look this up. VS Code, Roslyn, analyzer, treat as error. Fully support a custom analyzer error. To allow the cause a build to fail, go to Tools, Options, Text Editor, C#, Advanced, skip analyzers for implicitly triggered build. What? Skip, what is it? Analyzers? Oh, I don't even see that. Tools, Options, Text Editor, C#. Text Editor. I don't know what they're even talking about here. What is this? Is it Visual Studio or VS Code? Oh, it's Visual Studio. Oh, God. Oh, Wolf, sorry. I'll answer really quickly. So The life lessons thing I have, but it's private. The game dev lessons thing, I linked in the game design one that I have, but you're probably looking for the notes somewhere. But yeah, I don't know what I would have made public that you would have seen before other than the game design ones. Oh, tenants, yeah. Yeah, I did a video on that too at some point. Where do I pay for a seminar for life lessons? At some point, I want to release like a video or something on the things that I've learned. You know, the closest thing to this that I've seen, there was a guy in his 60s, I think, who said something like, I don't know, 40 lessons I've learned. And he made a video, and I thought it was pretty good. But one of the things that I realized is like, let's say, I don't know, let's say it's just a lesson, like look both ways before crossing the street. Okay, this one's probably pretty obvious why you should do this, but a lot of times you need some more context to know why it's good advice. Like, I don't know, if you said something like, let's say it was never write unit tests, and this was coding advice that you should follow. It's like, what, why? Like, this flies in the face of what I might know. So that video was kind of interesting to see what this person thought was important, but I think it needs to be bolstered with some other details or a story behind it. And that's what I've tried to do. I have a note that I've worked on now for like, I don't know, 20 years or something, just called life.txt. And it's just whatever lesson I have and then some context now behind it. And there's a date, and that's pretty much it. And I wrote in this as recently as like last week, I think. So I think it's good to look at. And I definitely want to go through that again and make some of it public. I just haven't done that. All right, I'm totally lost. I think what I'm trying to do should not be a difficult problem. Yeah. Stay hydrated. How do I disable the code analysis from C# dev kit? Do I need this to be here? I don't think so. Like I said, it automatically added this for me. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Man, I guess in the end, it doesn't matter too much. As long as .NET format finds this, that's what matters the most. I don't want to spend forever on these issues. I'm just also not sure why this isn't working, and this seems like something that should work, and it is very basic. So it says using directive is unnecessary. That's fine. But does it comment on this other issue? I don't. Did it? Yeah, it did. Okay, good. And it even says it's an error. It just doesn't stop the build. All right, well, whatever. That's good enough. We're not going to worry about something else here. I'll put this back, but yeah, I don't think this matters. Also, wait, what it says C++ files here. What? It's, I think it just added this to a random spot in the file. Why did it put that there? Yeah, the problem A thing, it unfortunately needs to be all lowercase. Oh, wait, maybe this is is it on the right thing? It's under C#. Just this says C++. Yeah. Star.cs. That doesn't make this fail though, does it? All I did is move it above another comment. Yeah, it doesn't have any impact. Wow. Well, I don't know. Maybe something else is overriding this. Like .NET Diagnostic is set to nothing. No, they all have specific things there. Out of curiosity, what if I did this? What if I just changed the mismatched formatting? I don't expect this to work. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, well, that's it. We just give up now. Well, I guess I'll do one more search for it and then maybe give up. Failed build. Free Technic, thanks for the resub. Happy 43 months. How are you doing? Does not fail the build. This is a feature of analyzers running from a VSIX file. You need to add it as a NuGet package. This will ensure that failures cause the build to fail. Wow, really? This is stupid. This is really stupid. Note, by doing this as opposed to installing it via a NuGet package. Is the G capitalized? It is. You can't force the build to fail on error. All right, whatever. I don't care. Shoveling in some dinner before the next meeting. You know, you have meetings this late? Wow. All right, well, as mentioned, as long as .NET format catches it, I'm fine with that for now. And as long as this thing works, again, I'm fine with it. So we're going to go check this in. Do we have any other things here? Does my name show up there somewhere? How do we go find this? Tools, C#, string formatter, Atom. Similar to Atom. Gets the message that shows to the developer when an error occurs. Some of you Americans are barely awake. Some of us are barely awake 8 hours from now, too. It's the, I'm not even gonna keep summaries here. I think this is fine. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's it for now. Okay, so let's link to this. Let's put this in licenses. Assets. Code ABC667 wrote. Hey, Super King. And thanks for the raid. Welcome in. Finding Focus, Salsa, and Wappa. How's it going? What were you streaming? Hey, Rob Cookie. I like the names. Let's see what you were streaming. Oh. You don't have VODs enabled. Why no VODs? Leak code. Sorry to hear about the layoff. It's going. Are you doing leak code today? Also, this thing I said about you don't have VODs enabled. I know people starting out don't tend to enable VODs in case they leak something, but I think it generally improves your visibility a little bit on Twitch. Not that that's saying a lot, because the visibility in this category in general isn't so great. Super King has a similar keyboard to this too. I hope the leak code journey's going well. For anyone new here, we are working on a game called Skeleseller. Yeah, I'll Twitch that. There is a demo on Steam right now. It's a very laid back, idle game. Well, it's not even really idle. I should say it's like idle light. And yeah, the demo has about 2 hours of gameplay in it. What we're working on is some localization features, being able to translate text, getting community contributions, that sort of thing. Oh, the Voyager. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like the look of that keyboard. I had a Moonlander for a while, but I didn't really like it that much. And I had an Ergodox, but that was before I wanted to invest the time learning how to use it properly. Cool name. I'll wish this. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the demo it's I think in pretty good shape right now. There's still a lot to be done. We are maybe like, let's say 3 months from launching. And yeah, that's why we're working on some localization features. We're going to work on achievements at some point. We're going to make a new trailer. And we got to work on the rest of the game content. And then cross our fingers for a lot of time. Okay, so I copied this. I can't recall if I've already pasted this in here. Yeah, wrote this, which maybe I should write this like this. String format analyzer. which formed the foundation for what we have. They gave explicit permission on this date to use the code. I verbally asked, and they responded with the quote below. Okay, just covering my bases. So this is done, this is done, that's done, that's done, that's done, this is done. And then this should be put probably toward the bottom of this list. Maybe we even put it in a cleanup section. Text stuff. All right, what else? May want to cut a corner with community contributions. Okay, so let's go check this stuff in. So we need this file. We need this, not that one, not that, not that, not that. This is something we can check in soon. Anything else? Localized messages generator. This shouldn't be checked in at all. Resources.designer. Okay, so everything that was in this folder. And then what is program? Oh yeah, I changed the arguments for this. Fighting VS Code. Yeah, I know. God, it's crazy. How do you get this level of discipline for docs? I'm impressed. I've just seen the value in it personally. So it's already shown its worth such that it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like a necessity for me. I keep an excessive amount of notes, and a lot of these things are public. So if you were to go, and not all this is up to date, but if you were to go looking through my notes on this website, you'll see just file after file after file after file of stuff, just random little things I've learned. And some of these are pretty extensive. A lot of the Godot stuff I've been doing has tons and tons of information here with pictures and links. And yeah, it's just been helpful for me. And same thing with this too. It's like, this is keeping me on track. And especially as a streamer, if I didn't have this here and I was like, what was I doing? I wouldn't know how to get back to what I was doing. I would just forget. But yeah, this keeps me on track. Okay, so I've got some examples of how I accomplish these things that I still have not checked in yet. I'm going to say add ABC667's string format analyzer. This doesn't cause the build to break because the analyzer is incorporated as a project reference rather than via a NuGet package. But .NET format still catches the error as the and it'll show in VS Code. What else should we write about this? It may be rough around the edges, but I figure we can improve the analyzer as we find edge cases. Also, string.format, we need to change all of our translator calls. So if we do write this, we'll need to modify. Actually, I'll just write this no matter what. Make sure, oh my God, I can't type. Make sure string format analyzer knows all of the translated calls that we use, not just translate. Oh, the stream died? Huh. But I'm back for everybody. It doesn't even say that I dropped any frames. Did it produce a new stream on Twitch? No, it just broadcasting. I can't click this. Watch. Did it just do one of those not like this? Yeah. And how long did that happen for? It started at 50 seconds and went on for 20 seconds so far. Yeah, wow, it was like a 20-second break. Well, sorry about that, everybody. I don't know what happened there. And hi, everyone who just dropped in. Sockding, Galaxy Inferno, Sinistello. Starting to be choppy again? Yeah, now I am dropping frames. Huh. That's strange. Let me check something really fast. Did my ISP say that they're doing work or anything? No. It's very strange. There haven't been drop frames in a very long time. And I'm not on Wi-Fi or anything. In fact, Wi-Fi is on, I guess. But shouldn't be using Wi-Fi, I hope. Well, I'll try to keep an eye on that. We're at 110 dropped frames right now. And yeah, it's not going up. All right, well, we'll see. There's not really much I can do about it anyway. It's very likely my internet. But I guess if it happens enough, I might just stop streaming. Okay, so I'm going to check this in. We're also going to check in this. This is going to be improve i18n.md. Cool. Looks good? Okay, yeah. All right, so we have a big question now, which is how do we want to do community contributions? So let me write this stuff down over here. Community contributions. Okay, so I'm not sure which route I want to take. The two options I'm considering are option one, make a tool for community contributions. It would roughly look like this. Players can press F12 to see annotated strings in the UI. Players can, or I don't know, like press F11, press F12 to open an in-game form that lets them submit new translations. A server, or I guess like my mini PC, would collect that information and I would make the changes to the code base. And option two would be make a GitHub repo public with the translation files and let people make PRs directly against a specific language. How many words per minute I can type? Yeah, I've done tests here and there. I'm not sure what, like, there are different measures of words per minute. There's like a burst words per minute. Like if you do a 30-second long test, you're probably going to be typing faster than if you were to type for a marathon amount, like 4 hours of coding or something like that. And then there's coding words per minute. So how much can you type something like void, some function name and parentheses and curly braces and some line of code. And then there's like typing test words per minute where you might do all lowercase, like short words, no punctuation. So I think the only real words per minute that matters is what actual typing you're doing in a given day. And for that, I switch between proper English and coding. I don't really do anything else. Like even when I'm typing chat messages, I type them in proper English. Might get better translations from option two, since people willing to do a PR might be more likely to be more knowledgeable than a random player. I'm not even considering translation quality. I think the things to consider are how much work is it for me to develop? How much work is it for me to incorporate changes? How much work is it for the player to suggest a change? And how much can I trust those changes? So for example, modifying metadata is something that a PR submitter probably wouldn't do. GitHub would let me see all of a person's changes. GitHub would probably be much simpler for this. So I'm leaning toward GitHub because I don't want to spend forever on this. But yeah, GitHub would be much harder here for the player, for an average person. They need an account. They need to know how to make a PR. I think for pure text changes, it's not too bad. How would I test this? I guess we just go to any random GitHub repo. Yeah, so we can go to the Godot one, for example. Let's say I did not know anything about GitHub and I went to a translation file and I was like, I want to modify this. I think there's an edit button directly in here. Yeah, there is. You must be signed in. I'm not signed in. Okay, that's surprising. Let's go sign in. All right, well, that wouldn't be a problem for people. They know how to sign in. I apparently don't. Give me a sec. I got to do this on my phone. Approve. Okay. Did it work? Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, so now I'm signed in. Now I'm pretty sure I can just click edit and then modify this and it'll be easy. I guess let's do it. So I click the edit button. You're making changes in a project you don't have write access to. Submitting will write it in a new branch. Yeah, so then I would type some stuff here and I'd hit commit. And then presumably get to some PR. I don't actually want to do this. So I'm going to cancel this. Did it fork that for me? Repositories. No. Well, I have this, but that was from before, I guess. Why did I fork this? Probably for a PR. Yeah, I can just delete this. I want to delete this repository. Do I have any open PRs on the Godot thing? Let me go check that. Because that's the only thing this would hurt, right? Author me. Is that a thing you can do? I don't know if that's even a thing you can do. Oh, author. Okay, it's got to be my name. But yeah, the only ones I have are closed. So yeah, I think we can delete this. All right, where's the delete thing? Delete this repository. And this is for Godot. Yeah, delete. I want to delete. I've read this. That's strange. You're supposed to have to type this in. Why is it already typed for me? Maybe because it's a fork and they want to make it slightly easier for that. Yeah, that's really strange. All right. Yeah, so we still have this decision to make. Leaning toward GitHub because I don't want to spend forever on this. And we can always improve the tooling in the future should we determine that something needs to change. Would there be anything else to do here? I guess we could make it even easier for people if we had a spreadsheet. Because a spreadsheet would just involve you clicking the thing and typing text. In fact, maybe that's the route we should go. Home. I guess a spreadsheet would be even easier than using GitHub. People could just type directly into it and it would be a suggestion in Google Sheets. They could even comment on lines. Oh, man. I mean, at this point, I feel like a Discord channel would be easiest for the average player. Well, so the reason why I'm not sure it would actually be easiest is because there's going to be a lot of, let me load up the game. There are going to be a lot of strings that someone might not totally know how to even find or whether someone else has commented on it. Maybe I'm being too nebulous here, but let's take this for example, like the mage, and we click this. So I'll take a picture of this so I don't need to keep hovering over it. So it says inspiration, casting fireball has a greater chance to inspire mental swiftness. So on Discord, I guess you'd say something like, you'd have to say something like the mage's ability inspiration should say, and then you type in like a Spanish string here. And then I need to know that you're talking about this specific thing. I guess you'd have to include a picture or something to let me know where this is showing up. Went down for a bit? Okay. Yeah. Is Twitch having problems? Twitch status? It says operational. Man. Yeah. Twitch has been having some weird issues. Twitch issues. Is there any like... Okay, well this is not like Twitch video player issues. Is anyone else reporting stuff? Whoa. Twitch outages reported in the last 24 hours. The baseline is much lower than how many things are getting reported, so possibly it's a Twitch issue. And what, that's today, November 5th? Yeah. Yeah, lots of reports in the last little bit. How would you stop vandalism? So in a Google Sheet, oh my God, you can give someone either viewer, commenter, or editor access. So everyone would get commenter access. So you could make 1,000 comments, but presumably there's some way to fight that. Google Docs comment spam. How to stop Google Docs spam. There's no like ban this person. Huh. Maybe I just control the list of commenters and someone has to request access. Yeah. Is there something online like a .po to CSV converter? I could write my own tool for this if I needed to. Reconvert localizy. I think there's some other issues with this. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward the spreadsheet route. There could be one spreadsheet. It could have tabs for each language and a tab for instructions. And then people can just get access to it and make changes. Yeah. So if I went with a spreadsheet, I would make a single sheet with many tabs, instructions, and then a tab for each language. And then people would have view access by default. People could request comment access. People would then be able to make suggestions directly in any cell. And then the big question is, how do I incorporate those changes and how do I deal with adding / changing strings in this spreadsheet? Yeah, that second one's going to be kind of an issue, right? There also wouldn't be easy history. Also wouldn't have easy history for this. Google Sheets has a version history, but it's not easily searchable. Anyway, incorporating these changes, I guess I would need to see what's been edited recently, and maybe there's a way to do that. There's probably a way to do that. Change your degree again to what? Were you in cybersecurity? I forgot where you were in before. Google Sheets update column when any column changes. It's probably a stupid thing. Autofill date when a cell is updated. Is this a thing? Oh, I see. You need to do it with a script. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, how do I deal with adding and changing strings? So e.g. I rename fireball to fire blast in English. This would cause cause the fireball cells in the sheet to either be deleted or be considered obsolete. Information technology, network administration, cloud computing. I see. I think cloud computing is such a gigantic field and should presumably lead to some like DevOps jobs, if not just straight up developer jobs at some of these companies. So it sounds like it's a safe bet to me. Oh, wait. That's not the end of it. Applied CS. Okay. Well, okay. I guess I got to ask at this point, what's causing you to change that much? Is it you don't like what you're doing? The grass is greener. You're worried about job security? Because I guess like what's going to stop there from being a fourth or a fifth change or however many it's been plus one? All right, so yeah, this would cause the fireball cells in the sheet to either be deleted or be considered obsolete. So we need some concept of an identity for a string. And currently there's no easy way to do that. You identify a string either by the string itself and maybe like its location in code, or metadata added by the developer. Something like str1234, and then, you know, translate fireball. And this is tedious, but I mean, I guess it would work. But identifying it by the string itself is subject to change. If you remember, UID plus date for versioning, perhaps. Well, what I'm trying to get at is like we have a source file, right? We have something like, I don't know, abilities.cs. And in there we say something like fireball display name equals translate fireball. So ideally, this is all we really have to write. But then what happens if I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's actually change this to be fire blast. The spreadsheet that we have is going to be, like if I go to sheets.new, we'd have something like, I don't know, English string fireball, and then Spanish string. Imagine I knew this. So now we change this to fire blast. How do we even know that it's this line that needs to be changed? We need to like analyze a diff or something. Mitch, thanks for the resub. Happy 2-year streak. How's it going? Learning. I think I want to do something a little more creative in tech. Been doing IT work and working on that degree for a while, and computer science theory and coding is what I've enjoyed the most. Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I think that's fair. By the way, I don't think there's a bad answer for switching necessarily. Unless you're like, I got jealous of a friend who was doing a degree. I'd be like, all right, that's probably a bad reason. But yeah, in terms of job or interest or something like that. Yeah. Is it Firos? I think the safest bet would be to use a service like lingo.dev. You can include links here if you want, but I can just go to it anyway myself. Automated AI. Where is this? I'm guessing it's localization. Yeah, for web and mobile apps. This, I want to avoid a subscription fee for things. But also, I think I'd have the same general problem here. Like we need some way to know that a string turned into another string. If you change a string, the other one would become fuzzy. No. Yeah. But then what would I do with a spreadsheet? I guess we'd identify that a string is fuzzy. Like we would know that the fireball string is fuzzy and could indicate that in the spreadsheet, but you wouldn't necessarily know that it's now Fireblast. Maybe this is just pointless. Like, who cares if you know it or not? Maybe it doesn't really matter. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. Languini. I like that. Translate your application. Huh. I wonder what AI they use. Or do you plug in your own thing? Or is there documentation? I want to see what you can plug in here for AI. Quick start. Wait a second. What? What are they using for this? Add more languages. Integrate Languini into this. Use our API for programmatic translations. Our API. Oh, so they charge for this, I'm guessing? Yeah, there's a pricing page. Up to 500 keys. I'm assuming keys means the things that you're translating. Yeah. Although maybe I could plug in my own AI or something. It needs to be translating anyway. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't worry about that. Okay, so I am leaning toward a spreadsheet. I do think it's probably the most user-friendly thing we can do. So I think we don't need a thing for that. What do we do for this though? How do I incorporate those changes? I guess we have the English string. So we'll have context and message ID, and that should be enough for me to identify these. So I should have message ID and message context, which should be enough to identify the local string that needs to change. I mean, we need to write a bunch of tooling for this too, right? Because I'd want to automatically convert to and from a spreadsheet. I don't think it'd probably be hard to do, but I wonder how much time I should be trying to save on this stuff. All right, well, let's say I did that. Let's say we did go with a spreadsheet. Then I guess that's pretty much the next step we would have to do. All right. Well, does anyone see any other problems? Let's say we had the tooling and there was a spreadsheet now with all of the strings and people could make suggestions. Is there any problem that may arise from this? Like someone talked about spam, trust. With spam, I think we could just have invitations maybe. With trust, I think this will always be an issue with community translations. There's no getting around it. Like if you don't speak the language, you have to trust that someone else who speaks it is telling you the right thing. You can sort of validate it, but with Silksong, they had a poor Chinese translation. Yeah, anyway, I think I'm leaning toward the Google Sheet way. Plus, I guess with Google Sheets, the other thing we could do is we could make like filters and stuff so that you could quickly find strings that haven't been translated. All right. Would version history protect against people deleting work? So there wouldn't be the permission model is you're either a viewer or a commenter or an editor. An editor can outright delete things. No one will have this access but me. So everyone will just be a commenter who gets added to this. And what happens then is it, actually, I'm not sure what happens in a sheet, but I'm pretty certain you can still do this. But you would be able to type whatever you want here, and it would show up as a comment that I could then click accept for. So no one can actually make a change unless I click accept on it. Now, that doesn't stop you from coming in here and typing like sheep for fireball. And then I'd have to be like, all right, this person's trolling me. At which point I'd probably just kick you out of the document. Let me share this to show you what I mean. I'm gonna call this delete me. Okay, so anyone with the link can be a commenter on this. Okay, so here, I'm gonna show this. Can someone access this and just make a couple of like not profane suggestions, and then I'll remove access. I'm not gonna show this on stream until someone's done this, but just type something like, I don't know, cat or dog or something into here and change the existing cells, you know, just make some normal changes. And then I'll revoke access and then I'll show it on stream. I see 8 people are in the document right now. If anyone has made a change, though, I don't see it. You should have commenting access. Can't type. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. I have it set so that anyone with a link is a commenter. Oh, maybe I shared the wrong link? Is this different? No, it's not different. Oh, right click and then comment? Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna revoke access. So some people figured out how to do this. So let's set it back to viewer. Okay, let me just make sure there's nothing bad in here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is what I would see on stream. So there's a little brown triangle at the upper right of any of these. It says totally normal comment as a non-user, non-logged in. Zoom, ABC, comment test, and hello. So this is how this would work, and I'm pretty sure other people can see this too. Can you all see this now that I revoked access? Can you see what the suggestion is for this? Like, does that show up for you? And is right-clicking and going to comment annoying? There's a shortcut for it. You can't see the suggestions, okay. Oh wait, Pheromond can. Pheromond, can you still see it after you refresh? Because maybe you still have like the, oh, maybe you can only see your own? Can't see, cannot see, but can still see the sheet. Okay. So then, yeah, I'm guessing if you can see them at all, you can only see your own suggestions maybe, which, yeah, probably isn't super helpful. Yeah, I reloaded, now I can see it. Okay, so let's write down what we've determined for this. And thank you all for helping me test that. So with commenter access, you have to right click a cell and click comment. If you have only viewer access at any time, you can't see any comments / suggestions from people. Not even my own suggestions. Yeah, not even your own. All right, so how is that as a solution then? So someone who, let's say you speak Spanish and we've got a whole bunch of strings here, and you'd be able to see what's written here. You just wouldn't be able to see the comments. So you'd know, oh, 4 of these strings are not localized yet. But you wouldn't know that maybe someone has already written comments for all 4 of those strings. But I think that's okay, because I don't think there's going to be like totally random people coming in and saying, hey, I can translate this. I think it's going to be people probably asking through Discord, and then I give them access and then they make suggestions. The right click comment UI isn't intuitive, but it works. Well, there is a shortcut, and I will have an instructions tab that says how to do this stuff. But I do think this is probably easier than GitHub, right? Like, probably the people in here would know how to use GitHub and could do that well enough. So that's kind of the question right now. Is this easier than GitHub? Is a spreadsheet easier than GitHub for most people? Hey, Goose, what's GitHub? What's spreadsheet? We're working on how we're going to get translations for this stuff. I think it's fine. Certainly more user-friendly. 50-50 on GitHub. It is, because most people have a Google account. Well, the other thing is if you don't have a Google account and you're okay signing up with one just for this, then yeah, I guess it'd be fine. Also, if someone truly didn't ever want to make a Google account and still wanted to help, I guess I could send them like a CSV file or something. So yeah, I think let's go with this for now. So we should try moving forward with a spreadsheet. We could even have all of our game translations in a .csv file to make this even easier. Yeah. How would you move it to sell value? What do you mean? Like, how would I accept those suggestions? Because if I click this check, oh wait, no. Oh, wait a second. Wait. This is not how this was supposed to work. Hold on a second. Yeah, there's a way in Google Docs that you can just type into a cell. Yeah, it's not a suggestion. I didn't realize. Yeah. You're right. Google Sheets suggested edits. How to suggest in Google Sheets. Suggesting mode. Open your Google Sheet, click on editing button. Select suggesting. Oh, we needed to do this. Okay, so then hang on, let me open this up again to people. Share, commenter. I don't know what this is gonna look like. Actually, wait, maybe I could just load this up myself, right? Here's what it looks like for me. So if I click this, comment only. You can only comment. You must be logged in to request edit access. Oh. Wait, so, I don't have another account I can test this from, do I? No, I don't think so. All right, well, chat, you've got edit access or comment access. So if you can figure this out, great. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to reconsider this, I guess. So apparently, where'd that tab go that I was looking in? Maybe where that went. Might need edit access. Yeah, if you do need edit access, then we're in trouble, I think. Because it means that someone could do damage to the whole spreadsheet. Google Sheets suggestion mode. What permission do you need? They don't mention it. Suggest edits in Google Docs. I know this is Docs, but still, what do you, yeah, it says edit access. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I mean, I could just take what's in the comment and incorporate it. Yeah. Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna give people edit access for now. Can someone try putting a suggestion in one of the empty cells just so I can see what it looks like? You should now have access to suggestion mode if you refresh. I'm not going to show the sheet on stream until someone's, yeah, looks like someone's typing now. Although I actually don't see, I just see people clicking cells. I don't see anything getting typed out. Wait, so someone edited and added hello world, but you got to enter suggestion mode. Is that a thing? It should show somewhere. Maybe it's not possible. Someone added like a tooltip or something? What? Seems that there's no suggestion for it. Okay. Well, I'm going to revoke access again. There we go. All right, so here's where we're at. We have a bunch of colorful rectangles in here. And yeah, I see this one. I don't know how this person did this. Like, it's not in the formula. And I can't. You did it. How did you do this? What even is this? I don't think I've ever seen something like this. Is there some way to like set a tooltip or something? Insert note. It must be a note. Yeah, it's a note. Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay, so then, yeah, I mean, we could use comments for this. I could still just have it be this, and I just copy paste this and accept it. Yeah. I wonder if that changes anything here. I mean, technically, another thing I could do is make this a document, and we have people suggest things for that. I think it'd be much harder to use as a document, though. Just use comment or use Google Docs App Engine to extract text from comments, maybe into another column. Yeah, part of what we got to consider for this, though, is I don't want to spend a ton of time writing tooling. So it turns out you can't suggest things through Sheets. I guess we could check what is it, Microsoft Excel Online or something like that. Does Sheets not have revision history? It has it. It's just all of the Google Workspace tools have really, really difficult to use interfaces for it. So you go down to File and the version history, and you can see a version history here. Let me do this off screen just to make sure it's not leaking email addresses or something. Yeah, so this is what the version history looks like. It's got this section at the right side. For any document with a lot of changes, it's just a whole bunch of dates. And like you can drill down into this, but it's really, really hard to see like how did this cell change or who modified this cell. That's the kind of thing you might want to do. And it's just too hard to do. This all seems quite inconvenient. Well, I don't know if the comment route is super inconvenient. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I guess if a script is pulling in people's comments, like let's go back. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's make a new thing here. So we'd probably have English string, and it's a fireball, and it would say currently accepted text. And let's go to Google Translate and type fireball in here. So copy this and then say something like is machine, and this would be yes here. So, oh, and then we need context, I guess. So insert one column, context. We could say abilities, and maybe we say something like additional context. This is the display name of the mage skill. I don't know. I'm just going to write out a bunch of things here, and we're going to act like this is real and then see if this is actually usable. So something like that. Cool. Currently accepted text. Machine translated. And then suggested text 1, 2, 3. Something like that. And then maybe like a last updated. And maybe there's a time here too. Whoops. Whoops. How do you do that? How do you... There's a way to get the date and the time. I don't know how you do that. I only know how to do one or the other. All right, well, I guess let's just get them both like that and then just copy paste it over. Excel is the same. Use a Twitch chat bot so people can only translate live on stream. That'd be nuts. I consider giving public edit access, but lock columns the user should not change and worry about vandalism if and when it happens. I think it'd be a mess. Yeah. Because it's so hard to go through version history. So someone could make very minor changes that I don't even realize. I'd rather have it all go through comments. All right, so yeah, so suggested text, if you're like, oh, this is wrong, and actually it should be this. Yeah, we could pull it as Wolf suggested. We could pull it from comments here and just make sure that everyone always writes a comment on the currently accepted text. But then we'd have to know that the comment is a translation. I guess you'd only put translations as comments here, and you could put comments on any other notes. Maybe here. So comment on this to suggest a new translation. Don't include any notes about the translation here. That would probably be tedious too, right? Because if you can't include any notes about this, you might say something like, oh, it's this, but I'm not actually sure, or you might say this other thing, making you wonder if GitHub is easier. I'm glad we didn't actually write any tooling yet, because yeah, designing this is not too bad. Yeah, I don't think this would be super useful. Alternatively, we could have some like, this is getting kind of nuts, but we could have something like the first bit of your comment is the translation, and then you could say note colon and then some explanation here, and we just trim this out, and note colon is what denotes that it's not part of the translation. I think notes on translation details are over engineering it. If someone wants to add notes or discuss, move that discussion to a Discord channel. Yeah, that's another thing we could do. Comment on this to suggest a new translation, yeah. So notes would be something I guess I would add in, should I ever need to. Hey, Seshamara, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. We are trying to figure out what we're going to do for translations for the game. I want there to be some way for the community to translate, and I'm debating on a spreadsheet as the interface versus GitHub as an interface. And I got to say, I think a spreadsheet, yeah, make a table in Google Docs. I actually thought about that. We could, but yeah, I think that would be super tedious. Whole pages, single words. Well, the text is going to be something like, okay, in this case, we have Fireball. There's going to be like Quick Strike. There's going to be whatever, Slash and Crush and Heal. And so there's going to be a whole bunch of ability names. Then there's going to be entire strings like, I'll teach you how your farm works. Click the extractor near me to blah, 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 whatever. So some of these are going to be longer lines. And some of them are going to be just simple, like, yep, just a bunch of ability names. And by the way, I expect those to be pretty simple. And I think this is why having them all consolidated like this is probably what's best. How's it going, Seshamara? Yeah, so we probably wrap this too, right? Yeah. Can you put pictures in here? What happens if I take a picture of, let's say, this thing? That would actually looks like a picture, not a picture of text, and paste? Okay, you can, but it's not inside the cell. That's weird, right? Paste. What happens if I move this row? Oh, it actually does know that it's in this cell. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So if I just move it to an arbitrary place and then add another row above it, yeah, it doesn't bump it anymore. And I can't put it back in the cell. What is this? What is this feature? What about a locally owned website server? A weblate server, or what's it called? Yeah, I should probably look into that a little bit more. I had heard of this yesterday, or maybe you suggested it. I'm not sure who talked about it. And you can host this yourself. I'm not sure it's, well, there's a try weblate thing here. I'm not sure how usable this is, how easy it is to set up. But yeah, maybe I should look into that too. I'll write that down. Should look into weblate and see how hard it is to use that. If you put the cell in edit mode, then paste, does that make a difference? If I paste directly into here, it apparently knows that it's in that cell. And I guess I can even resize it and stuff too. Yeah, so it knows it's in here. And now when I move this around, oh no, what? I'm so confused. You can't resize it if you do this? Yeah, so if I add rows above it now, if I delete all these rows, where's delete? Because I think having a picture would be nice. Oh, this may not be usable. Maybe on your phone or something, this would show up really stupidly. What do they say? Google Sheets image in cell. You can easily insert an image using the insert menu or the image function. What? Insert? Where's image? Insert image in cell. Paste. You can't paste here. Easily. Hang on, let me look at Google Images. See what that shows. Only select images you have the licenses to. Paste URL of image. You can't just paste in an image? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, well, whatever. I guess there is a way to do this. You know what? Let me try it. Let me get an image from here somewhere. Assets. Sure, let's just take that. So now insert image, insert, drag. Okay, there's our image. Look at how tiny it is. Can you expand this or look at it or something? What? Image? Add alt text, put image over cells? You can't zoom in on this? I'd have to like fully expand the row. This is nuts. Yeah, this is nuts. So I guess you shouldn't have images in here, huh? New idea to prevent over-engineering. Want to help with translations? Request edit access link. I have no way of trusting the person though. Could be a link to an image. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I can do that. Number of people that will request edit access to help translate, then proceed to vandalize. I mean, it only takes one person to make it very, very hard for me to fix though. So can I delete this and not have this get saved anywhere else, I wonder? I don't know where that image got saved anyway. Okay. So what am I? Images aren't super easy to use. Okay, so let's ignore this. Let's put this back to what it was and this back to what it was. So if this is probably what the spreadsheet would look like. And I could write here, these could be pulled from comments on the current translation column so that people can see what others have suggested. Is there anything else we need to do here? So I would want a way, I guess I can comment on this myself. In fact, let's put this here, comment. So I would want a way to be able to accept this. I guess there's no easy way to do that. Like I'd copy this and then paste it in here and then mark the comment as resolved. And that would be really tedious to do like 1,000 times. Just dropped in. Are you translating? I'm just setting up how will the community help translate. And I'm still not certain what I want the interface to that to be. And I guess we should look into that weblate thing. So I have it open somewhere. Where is it? I'll just close all these tabs. I'm getting a little out of control. Google Forms. I don't like the idea of a Google form. I think I'd want you to be able to modify any number of these strings at once. Like that's one of the things I'm thinking about. Like if you're going to translate fireball and heal and crush, there are going to be probably like 80 other ability names. And if you've got a rhythm going and you're like, yeah, I know what those would be. I know what those would be. Yeah, why not do another like 40 of them? But if it's a Google form, I think it's going to be quite a lot of hassle. And then I still need to process it and everything. Oh, cool. Sweatpants. Yeah, that would be really cool to see. Yeah, I love that. Hey, Dozy Burrito. Okay, so this is self-hostable. I'm pretty sure they have a thing on here. Yeah, self-hosted, completely free. I don't need to worry about upgrades or installation. I can install this on my mini PC. There's single sign-on. I can presumably invite people. Is that a thing? Docs? There must be some permissions model here, right? Access control. WebLake comes with a fine-grained privilege system to assign user permissions for the whole instance with predefined roles, or by assigning one or more groups of permissions to users for everything or individual projects, components, glossaries, and so on. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Protected, visible to everybody, only chosen users can contribute. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's great, in fact. In fact, I wonder if we should look into just installing this and trying this out. Why not? Looked into translation context, and singular and plural forms are key to get it right. You know what's nice about video games a lot of times, though, is that even if it's just an English game, you're still used to seeing things like 2x potion and not something like 2 potions. So even in Skeleseller in English, we say something like, go collect 5, you know, whatever, cloak. And it's like, yeah, that's not proper English, but I don't think people really blink at this. Would have instead you AI translate all of them, and the form is only for people to point out unnatural translations. AI should be fairly reliable, and people correcting them correcting something than doing the thing. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. We start with machine or AI translations, and then have the community build on them. But I'm guessing that most of them will be bad, the machine translations. Would you be able to link that Learn Games development site where it starts upon? Yeah, sure. That is right here. Do I have a command for that? 20 games, maybe? No. Okay, acom 20 games. Yeah, let's just install this. Which machine or AI translation tool are you using? So I tried Azure for just straight up machine translation. So here is an example. I typed in hello and goodbye, and I want it translated to German, and it gave me the German words for hello and goodbye. This is just like using Google Translate. And then for AI, I briefly tried. Do I still have this open? No, I don't know what this did. Can you see your old chats in here somewhere? There might be a way to do that, but I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how. Anyway, I briefly tried something in here too, which was just using GPT-5 Mini. Yeah, there's a Postman endpoint for Azure. I signed up for an account yesterday and I tried it out. What I was hoping, they have something called custom translation, lets you train a model. What I was hoping is that I could train it based on just English. You cannot do that. You need to train it in the target language, and you need to train it on 10,000 sentences. So if you're a mega business and you've got, you know, blog post after blog post after marketing thing after whatever else, yeah, feed it all of those, and they were all made by humans, and now it's going to train on that, and it'll understand your vocabulary and whatever else, and it apparently does like a much better job. But yeah, that's a non-starter for me. I can't get 10,000 sentences of like Skeleseller specific stuff in target languages. The history icon, version history. Oh, this. Oh. Ah. Yeah, so this is what I did. I said, I'm making a lighthearted fantasy game. In it, there's an entity called the Garbage Slime who will recycle items for you. What would be a similarly funny or lighthearted name for Garbage Slime in Spanish? And it came up with some of these, and this one cracked me up. I don't know enough Spanish to know what this feels like in Spanish, but it looks hilarious to me. So then I asked Kevin, and he's like, yeah, these aren't too great. There are a couple that aren't too bad, but yeah, you can't just trust them by default. And yeah, thanks for telling me about the history thing, Wolf. Okay, so yeah, let's just go install this and try it out. That shouldn't be that hard, right? Nobody clip that. Quick installation. Easiest to install using pip or Docker. Please follow the quick setup guide for more detailed instructions. Sure. Install using Docker. Yeah, sure. I just want to try this out quickly. So this does seem like it'd be easiest. They should just give you a Docker install command, right? No, clone the repo, create an override. and start the container. Why do you need to clone the repo for this? What? Why do you need to clone the repo? I mean, I don't mind doing that. Oh, because they have an override for some base file. Okay, I see. This is not the Weblate repo. This is just the Docker Compose part of this. Got it. All right, so let's go do that. Let's put this in temp for now. Okay, clone this thing, then cd into it. Create a Docker Compose override with this stuff. So what's in here? Cat Docker Compose. Val key. It's a Redis thing? It's probably some like open source Reddit. Or Reddit. Did I say Reddit? Redis. Fast, reliable, open source data store. Yeah. Okay. What else do I have in here? Alpine sounds good. Then Weblate itself. Okay. It's a Redis fork. Gotcha. All right. So I would go make an override for this. And copy and paste this in. So email host, user password, admin password. Do I need to fill this stuff in? I guess I'll just call this admin. I'm not going to actually like host this in production. I just want to try out Weblate. So none of this matters. Unless I need access to this email address and it's going to ask me to verify, which hopefully it doesn't. All right, so now we just start this. And it should spit out a thing. This looks so cool. It says pulling, but it's at 0 bytes. Oh, there it goes. Okie dokie. So, wait, warning. Memory overcommit must be enabled. All right, so is this up yet? No, not yet. Well, in this case, Wolf, I'm installing some software that I want to use. Whether I'm installing it through Docker or not, I'm installing some software that I want to use. So they could have written something that's like exfiltrating every file on my machine. Whether or not I'm using Docker doesn't impact that. Well, I guess in this case, I didn't give it a volume, so it would have impacted that specific example. But in general, I'm running something on my machine. Okay, so is it done? I just load this. Localhost 80. Nice. Site runs Weblate for translating software projects listed below. You need to be signed in to translate, otherwise you can only make suggestions. Okay, let's sign in as the admin user. Let me just do this off screen because every once in a while it shows email addresses. Actually, yeah, it does. All right, what's our email address for this? Weblate admin at example.com, password admin. Sign in. Okay, I am signed in. Wait, my computer's localhost. No, that's Rymu localhost. I'm on Atom localhost. All right, so I guess I got to make a project. I should probably learn a little bit about what's the terminology of Weblate. Yeah, basics. Project and component structure. In Weblate, translations are organized into projects and components. Each project can contain number of components, and those contain translations into individual languages. The component corresponds to one translatable file, like a PO file. Okay. Projects are there to help you organize component into logical sets. And the English is not great on this website. Additionally, components within projects can be structured using categories. Components can belong to a category, and categories can be nested. Internally, okay, so let's make a project, I guess. Where did that go? There it is. No, wait, that's not it. There it is. plus add new translation project. Okay, project Skeleseller test. Project website, I don't care. Translation instructions, I don't care. Let's hit save. Please fill out this field. What? Main website. Why is this needed? More info? Fine. Okay, so now add a component. Component name is going to be, I guess, scripts because we only have one PO file for all of them. Use as a glossary. What's a glossary? Allows using this component as a glossary. Use when you want to manage terminology separately. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Huh, I think this is a good idea. Okay, source language, English, version control system, Git. Version control system to use to access your repository containing translations. You can also choose additional integration. I mean, I guess Git. URL of a repository. Do I need this? And a branch? If I continue, I guess, yeah, it says fill out this field. Ooh. Why is this needed though? Is it going to automatically make changes? Use to pull changes. This can either be a real URL or that indicating that the repository should be shared with another component. See Weblate internal URLs. Yeah, typical. Let's talk about which buttons they're going to fix. Welcome to the working world. Share one repository setup between different components by referring to its placement as Weblate project component in other linked components. The VCS repository configuration of the main reference component. Oh boy. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, can I just turn this off? No, I can't. Is it going to ask for a token for this to be able to make the changes directly? All right, well then let's make a, problem is I don't have a URL for a project. I guess I got to go make a new repo. New repo. Test Weblate. This is just for testing Weblate on date for Skeleseller. Choose visibility, private, I guess, and then create. All right, then there's our thing. Now where'd Weblate go? And then branch is going to be main, I guess. Is main set up by default? I guess let's go make a thing here. Ugh. Where'd that go? All right, so clone this. You appear to have cloned. Let's just do all this stuff. Whoops. Whoops. Failed the push. README did not match any files. Oh, I didn't copy the first bit. No such file or directory. Whoops, whoops. Okay, now let's copy the rest of that. Nice. Okay, so now we actually have something in here. Hey, Adam. Can it be private? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I hope so, but if not, I guess I can figure that out later. All right, let's put this next to this thing. So yeah, oh yeah, was main the right thing? Yes. Good. Okay, so continue. Supplied configuration is incorrect. Repository requires authentication. Please specify credentials in the URL or use SSH access instead. Let's... Should I just make this public for now? I guess it's the easiest thing to do. So yeah, let's do it. I'll make this public. Settings. Visibility. Public. Okay, done. Continue. Choose translation files to import. Specify configuration manually or file format markdown file. I want PO files, right? I guess I'm just going to do this. Component name scripts. What am I doing? I think I just hit save. Please select an item in the list. File format. Oh, nice. Okay, so we want a PO file, right? Get text PO file or monolingual. I don't know which one of these two options we want. I guess let's look up what get text PO monolingual is. They code just the IDs in their source code and the string then needs to be translated to all languages, including English. No, I don't think that's what we want. Yeah, no, we don't want monolingual. Okay, so then it is just get text PO. Where is it? Am I going crazy? uh, what? How did I find it the first time? Oh, there it is. Oh, because it's alphabetized by PO here. Is that correct? So then why is this here? I don't know. Hey, Jace. All right, file mask base language file. We're not using monolingual, right? All right, well, let's just hit save and see what it complains about. File mask, path of files to translate relative to repository root. Use star instead of language code. Okay, so we need a PO file to exist in this thing. Let's go to this. And copy that path over to here. And then add it. Oh, no, actually don't add it here, I guess. Let's make a directory. I don't know, PO files, language files. And then move scripts into that. And then add language files. And then commit. And then push. Okay, so our mask is going to be language files slash star.po. And save. Supplied configuration is incorrect. You have set up Weblate to add in new translation files, but did not provide a base file. What? Oh, right. I need a .pot file, right? All right, so copy that to language files and then add that scripts.pot and then commit and push. Okay, now try it again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think it has to do with the edit base file check. Yeah, what does this mean? Whether to allow editing strings in the... All right, let's just turn this off, I guess. I don't think it's that. I don't know what this is though. Adding new translation. How to handle requests for creation of new languages. Oh, I just don't want to do that. Disable adding new translation. I see. Okay, so now what's wrong? Now it's this. File mask did not match any files. That's funny. Language files slash star.po. It's right there. Language files slash star.po. Does this have to start with dot slash or something? po slash star.po. Huh. I don't see a problem with this. Maybe it didn't pull the repo again. So maybe I need to like restart this whole flow. This UX is abysmal. I know. It's pretty bad, but maybe the tool is good. I didn't type something wrong, did I? Language files. No, I didn't type anything wrong. I think it just needs to pull the repo again. I wonder how to get it to do that. Because this presumably has some like... How do we can't even do that? Because it's in the make a new... Oh, God. Try with just star. I don't think it's going to find anything if I don't specify the directory. I don't know if it's still trying to pull the repo, though. That's the problem here. Like, it might be that right now this is the correct path, and it would work if I were to start anew, but it won't work from this state, maybe. You know what we could do? We could change this to test weblate 2 and then hit save, and then it's going to complain that it can't find that. But then we turn it back to 1 and we hit save. No, it didn't work. All right, I'm a little confused here. Put in what error example to see if it passes. Well, I don't have a PO folder. Their example doesn't match my repo. Like if I called this PO, it would have worked. You need to escape underscore. Wait, really? It just says you need to escape square brackets. Yeah, even here they have an underscore. It's not escaped. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I wonder if I can figure out if it pulled again. Did it pull it again? Test web late. I don't know. Just leave dir slash star. I don't think it's that, like, there is a file in here. Yeah, it's going to keep complaining about this. What about star slash star.po? Or I don't know. To translate relative to repository root, use star instead of language code. Man, I don't see a problem here. Language files. Wonder if I did this. That's the last thing I'll try, and then I'm going to back out of this whole thing. Hey, Arlens, can you find the repo on disk locally and manually pull the files? So probably not, because this is all running in a Docker container. So they must have probably cloned it inside the Docker container. Docker ps-a. Where is my container for this? Yeah, so Docker logs ba4. So here are all the logs. And if I search for weblate 2, didn't I type that at one point? Yeah, I did. Unless it was -2. No. It doesn't say anything about cloning here? It doesn't. Pull? Nothing. Yeah, it's just enter bash into the container directly and try to take a look. I need to do it on the container that's already running though, right? Oh, I guess I have to restart it. All right, I'm gonna try this again. Ugh, this is terrible. Okay, so we just back out of this, just hit refresh, or go to this, start a new project. So stupid. I want to do this again. There are logs about repositories up to date with commit SHA. Oh, 0F or 07F, is that correct? Yeah, it is. So it is up to date. Oh no, I backed out of this for no reason. Incorrect. Already exists. How do I find it then? Oh. Okay. Start a new translation, I guess. Is this broken now? Oh, what a hoot. What an absolute hoot. Clicking this does nothing. Is there a command to know what you're building? Feel like you get asked a lot. Yeah, at least in terms of what is the game that I'm making, there is. But in terms of what I'm doing today, there's just the today command. And right now I'm just trying out this tool, which is somewhat frustrating. But feel free to ask the questions, even if you're worried there'll be duplicates. I'm happy to answer. Hey, April. Don't have any components. Do I need the component first? Okay. Scripts. It is silly UX that they don't tell you. Yeah. All right, so version controls, we have that. We have this. Repository branches main. We hit continue. All right, specify configuration. Oh, wait, what's this? This already exists. Oh. Did it configure it the same way that I had? You need to specify the beginning of the thing? Hold on a second. What did I have on my clipboard? I just did slash whatever. If we're just going to click save. If it works, then I'm mad. I'm mad. Okay, so what's going on now? Configure repository hooks for automated flow of updates to Weblate. Configure push URL for automated flow of translations from Weblate. Define translation instructions to give translators a guideline. I don't want to do any of this stuff right now. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, interesting. Stars only for the language code. Yeah. Oh, got you, Seshamara. I didn't understand. My bad. I thought, oh, no, I just didn't even see your message. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, thank goodness it at least detected it. That UX was good. So now I should see my strings in here. Oh, nice. Okay, so English and Spanish needs editing. What's that? Why does this I not do anything? Oh, wait, no, there it goes. Strings are usually marked as needs editing after the source string is updated. Excuse me. Nearby strings. This is pretty good. Other languages? English. Automatic suggestions. What? How does this feature work? Computer aided translation suggestion. Can I click needs editing and then just save and stay and have it suggest something to me? Spanish shot is obviously not what it's supposed to be. I don't know how this works. Probably the only person I've actually seen use that keyboard. Seen people review them, never use it. Oh yeah, I love this keyboard. I don't know how this works. Automatic suggestions. Let's go look it up. Where's the documentation? Performance. Documentation. All right, automatic suggestion. How do you use this? Support for several machine translation and translation memory services is built in. Each service can be turned on by the administrator for the whole site in management interface or at the project settings. Whoa. Neat. Very neat. And you can apparently turn it on for Azure? No, only, oh, AI translator. Yeah, I have that. Can you turn it on for any sort of LLM? OpenAI. Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't have a subscription or anything. Translation memory matches with 100% score take priority over machine translation services. Source string. I wonder if I can stop other people from using the automatic translation. I mean, if you're a translator for this, you wouldn't even need to use it. I guess I would use it. But yeah, I should write down some thoughts. I would need to figure out how to set this up with the actual Skeleseller repo. Probably worth giving it credentials and trying that out. The UX is terrible, but lots of projects use this tool. Lots. Yeah, I can see the value in it. Can I stop people from using the automatic translation feature and just allow it for myself? Okay, so yeah, I don't have this set up, so I can't do this now. There's presumably somewhere in here settings or something. Settings. And there's something for, yeah, API access. Can be used to control WebLate via the HTTP REST API. Yeah, I don't care about this in particular. Also, none of this is secret. Even if I were to show these keys, I'm going to wipe out this whole thing. But there's a way to set up the automatic translations, they said. Where was that? Automatic suggestions. They said there was some management interface. Management interface. Yeah, what? Under where? Or the project settings? How do I get to that? Maybe in project, and then is there a settings page here? I don't see anything. There it is, settings. All right, so now what? Workflow? Oh, hey, custom. Let's just check this out. Permissions are not managed in WebLate. Only use this if you know what you're doing. Enabling it might revoke your access to this project. Oh, well, let's just not even worry about that. Whatever, just back out of this. I don't care about this. Hey, Amy. Depends on what you mean by tool. Not sure if you need a subscription to get the API keys from OpenAI. I use a key for my app, and I have to top the balance of my account to use the tokens. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to use, I don't know, too many machine translations here anyway. It's just to give people an idea for what this is supposed to be. All right, so let's type in a new thing, right? Let's go to Google Translate and just go to the actual site and type in wild shot. All right, again, no idea if this is actually good. So we type this in here and I hit save and stay. So now, what? Why did it cross off the Spanish and put my old thing there? Shouldn't have been the other way around. Or is this just a history? Oh, I'm in automatic suggestions still? Ah, okay, there we go, history. Yeah, this is actually really nice. Interesting. What are these things? NBS, is that non-breaking space? Yeah. New line, tab character, horizontal ellipsis, a whole bunch of these things, terms in the glossary. All right, I mean, I can see this being pretty good. It's definitely more advanced than a spreadsheet. Yeah. When I install it, find I can't due to the concrete wall has plywood double wall in front of it. Oh no. This is too complicated for my brain. I mean, I think there is a lot of complexity to what we're doing with this tool. or sorry, what this tool can do, not what we're doing with it. But like you can have multiple projects, you can have multiple languages, you can have many different people getting access to this thing. I'm not even sure how we'll add people to this tool. That's another thing I got to figure out. So I don't care about automatic translations, but how do we add people to this tool? There's probably some like invite a person. Did I make this public? I don't actually know. Settings, access. Oh yeah, it's just public right now. So visible, but only chosen users can contribute. So if I save that, now what do we do? How do we pick those users? Access control. Can we change an access tab? How do you invite people? Inviting new users. Adding existing users will send them an invitation to confirm. Where do you add users? With registration open, the administrator can also invite new users using email. Invited users have to complete the registration process. Not required to have any site-wide privileges. Where do you add? Oh, there's a users page. Where's that? Why is this so hard to use? Access control. There's an access control page somewhere. Is it my settings? Teams, users. Okay, I think this is the page they want us to be on, but I don't actually know. Add a user. Okay, we finally found it. What is Weblate? It's a community contribution based translation tool. So I can have a list of strings. Let me see if I can show you this. I can have a list of strings here, like wild shot in English, and it'll say, here's what it should be in Spanish. And you'd be able to fill this in to something different if you thought it should be something else. Why is this still, oh, I'm still looking at the history. That's why. Yeah. Okay, so I click add a user. What happens here? Please type in an existing Weblate account name or email address. Existing? Hang on a second. What if I do this off screen? I type something like, I don't know, Adam. Oh, this is probably not where you do this. There's got to be some invite a user. Oh, God, why is everything so tough? The end user interface contributor is as complex as admin from what that video shows. Wrench icon in top bar. It does look like it would be this. Oh, add new user. Okay, perfect. Okay, so click the wrench and then what did I do? And then users and then scroll down. Thank you. Or you pay them and don't need to set up and host yourself. I don't think I want to pay them for this. If it's open source and I can just host it myself, I even have a mini PC here. I can just leave it on 24/7. Yeah, you can post a link, Mitch. All right, so I can give them a team. I would not give them super user. Oh, nice. Okay. So SSH keys. This would be for Git access. I need to test this. I'm not going to do this now. Although actually I could, right? But yeah, I need to see what happens when we actually connect this to the repo. Maybe you could set which team has access. I don't really want to worry about that. Yeah, I'm just skipping breaks this morning, I guess. But I don't really want to worry about the access to it because I can always just do it through Postman or even just go to Google Translate. But it's just to get some text to be there, and it's probably not even important. Do I take breaks? I will take a lunch break probably in the next hour or so. But Yeah, I sometimes don't take breaks if I'm on a roll with something. I do think it's bad to skip breaks. Hey, Flying Heifer, do you do C++? No, I do C# on the stream. Okay, so we've answered this question. This is going to be somewhat involved. I wonder how much you trust Weblate with this stuff. Like, could I run in some mode where I don't trust it? Because there's, where is it? There's some, oh, hey, there's the automatic suggestion thing too. So I guess you can connect this right through here. There was some way to get it to hook into the repo. I don't know where that is. Is how the input stream and buffer works similar to C++ or C? Like, does C# also have all that? The input stream? The concept of input streams and buffers are not specific to any language. So if you're saying, like, does the standard library have, like, buffered readers or something? Yeah, probably. Okay, isn't checks overview? All right, I don't know where I'm supposed to do this, but I think there was that page that showed like 6 errors, and I could choose to set things up. I don't know where that went. Translation memory post announcement, add new category, users API access. Was it this? No. Yeah, I don't know where you do this. Backups, add-ons, settings, organizer, remove. Warning in the top bar. This can't send email. Oh, I forgot about this. All right, I need to test that out too. When setting this up for real, need to be able to send emails out. Probably tell people to check their spam. I'm not even sure how we would send email. Please check email star settings. Performance report. Do you know how many words or sentences you need to translate? No, I don't. Alerts. Tools. Yeah, I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. I would expect it to be in the project somewhere, though. Insights, failing checks? No. Translation, files, operation. Repository maintenance, is it this? 2 pending changes. This will commit any pending changes present in Weblate and not in the repository. Okay, but I bet if I click this, it's gonna fail. Didn't it say to add? All right, let's just click commit and see what happens. All pending translations were committed. Now push. Push is turned off. Probably because I didn't give it permission. I need to give it an SSH key. There's a remote URL. I didn't give it an SSH key. But I still don't know how to get to where I'm supposed to set up like Git hooks and stuff. Maybe checks not in project, but at the top. I don't see anything here. Yeah, I don't know where you're supposed to do that. All right, Weblate, set up Git hooks. Version control integration. There was a way to do this. Maybe it'll ask again later. Is there a picture that shows the thing I had? Didn't you change the repo to public? So I did change the repo to public, but it would have to still have push access. And it's not like anyone can push to a repo. You need to make a pull request. And it's just trying to push to a repo because that's what permission model it expects to have, I guess. Although maybe there's a way to get it to, I don't even know how I found that page. This is so confusing. Yeah, I don't know where I found that. Oh God. It's just such a mess. Maybe, yeah, I don't even know. Repository maintenance, was it? Yeah, it was this. Okay, so repository maintenance. I should probably write some of this stuff down. To commit slash push. Reset all changes, reset repository, reapply translations, rescan translation files. Browse all repository changes. Search. What is this doing? What is this button? Download latest changes to CSV. Okay, out of curiosity, what does that do? Does that just show my change to wild shot? No, it's giving me high level actions that were taken. Oh man. All right. I don't know. I wonder if I set up a new project, it would probably show. All right, well, let's see. How do you set up email from this thing? Like, how hard is it? Do you need to hook into some other email service? Server email, is that what I'm supposed to set? Check email star settings. I don't see just a standalone thing. Weblate set up emailing. Outgoing email is not working. Weblate email host. Okay. I guess let's look at this page, wherever this is. Mail server host name or IP address. Port. Oh, is this some SMTP thing? Yes. Need to provide a mail server, yeah. Was this inside my Docker override? It is. Okay. This is set through as, what is this? Weblate email host, host user, and host password. What is server email? The email address that error messages are sent from. Okay, I see. Hey, Catherine, welcome back. And thanks for the raid. How'd your stream go today? Have you made, how long has it been? Have you made, I guess, a game and a half since the last time? We are trying to figure out this tool, Weblate, which is for community contributed translations, because I want to localize Skeleseller, but I only really speak English. Oh, let's put this here too. Is the email address that we send emails from. The others are for connecting to this thing. Oh, I wonder if I can just manually add accounts myself. Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. There's add new user with email, username, full name. I kind of want to try this out. Let me try this. Let's do like joe@example.com. Joe. Okay. And team. All right, so let's add this person, joe@example.com. Please select an item from the list. Viewers, users, reviewers, managers, project creators. I don't know what they should be. User, maybe? User invitation email was sent. No, it wasn't. Could not send notifications. Gaia error. GAI error. Name or service unknown. So this is probably that it can't connect to SMTP. But I wonder if I just like validated them myself as a user. Pending invitations. What are the buttons I can do here? Resend or remove. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I can't just manually add somebody, which is fine. I don't mind having it send out emails. It's just I'm going to need to give this thing access to sending emails, to pushing to my Git repo. And I just don't know if I want to do that. We can minimize the blast radius of the GitHub repo by just giving it a translations only Git repo. But that does just add another step for me. Yeah. Also, I wonder what kind of like, how heavy is this for performance if nobody's using it? Is there a way to tell how much, like how many resources a container is using? Is this even going to open? What's going on right now? Docker, go to the dashboard. Okay, here it is. CPU 0%. How do we tell how much RAM it's using? Oops. Didn't mean to click that. I don't know how you see that. All right, well, just Docker check RAM usage of container. Because my mini PC has memory available, 14 gigabytes. So it's got a ton. Top at the top. It looked like it's at 0, though. That's weird. Maybe because I need to click a specific container. It says 0 bytes. I don't understand it. Huh. Docker stats. Oh, here we go. All right, so these 3 Weblate ones are using a combined total of about 2 gigabytes of RAM and not much CPU. Super strange that you need to push somewhere at all. Like, why? I mean, the answer, at least from them, would probably be so that you can sync to your, like, sync any changes from Weblate to your actual game or site. Well, it's not even 2. I guess it's like between this and your game and site. So as an example here, I go into the code and I'm like, oh, I change like this. Oh, this is actually a bad description now. We should change it to just shoots an arrow at the target. So I do this, I hit save, I blah, 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 whatever else. And then in Weblate, I can just be like, go pull the newest changes. And now it'll flag that this string needs to be translated automatically for me. And then when someone translates it, I can be like, okay, push it back to the code. And now the repo gets the translation files. So it is pretty convenient. It does commit back to the repo, yeah. Yeah, memory usage is, I don't know, a little bit high. What is this? There's a cache and there's a database. Why is this using 2 gigabytes? I wonder if it's just because I'm connected to the site. I wonder if I just close all these tabs. I don't have anything else open, right? No, I don't. All right, so Docker stats. Yeah, I didn't know there was some like remote connection open and that by closing it, it would have just freed up a bunch of memory. It's not a big deal. As I mentioned, I've got a bunch of free RAM and I'm only going to use like 2 gigabytes of it anyway. The bigger issue, I think, is that this service is going to be running pretty much constantly for the next like 4 months while people submit translations. Then again, maybe we just, I don't know, whatever. What do I even, who cares? Yeah, who cares? So I think the biggest question right now, are we going to use Weblate? I think the sub question from this is, do I trust Weblate with GitHub and email credentials? Can you manually add users? At least I'd like to get rid of the email part if I could. Add user. Authentication. New user. God, this is stupid. Access control. Inviting new users. Send them an invitation to confirm. Also invite new users using email. Right, users have to complete the registration process to get access. Not required to have any site-wide privileges in order to do so. Access management information on the project scope would be sufficient. A connected database and update is verified column or whatever there is. But then they're still going to need to, I don't know. I was going to say set up a password and everything. I wonder how hard it would be to connect to this. Where's my, let's go into this. I have a Docker command to connect to this. Yeah, this. Docker run entry point some image. Okay, so let's shut this down. You can't connect to an already running container, right? And run a shell in it. Connect to container shell. Oh, container ID. Docker exec. I don't want to run. I just want to. This is Alpine, so we might need regular shell. Anyway, let's get the container ID. This, I guess. All right, so we're in. Now what? Oh man, I guess we need the database credentials. Hey, Tanner. And then we need a database client. Maybe we could just connect directly to Postgres through what is our Docker compose file? This is overriding this one. And the database, this is presumably not just exposed to me right now, right? There's some way to do this. I don't remember how. Probably have some Docker notes on this. Yeah, I would need to forward ports, wouldn't I? Or else it's not going to be exposed on the host. I think so. I probably also need to specify a different network if I do that though, right? Although I could also install a Postgres client on this and then connect to the database. Yeah, Let's figure out how to do that. Alpine, Linux, Postgres, client. APK add these things. APK not found. Is this removed from the running image? Or am I just being a dum-dum? We are in Alpine, right? Postgres Alpine. But I'm actually connected to this, which we don't know what they've based theirs on. I guess we could just do which apt. Oh, okay. So then how do you like Linux determine Linux flavor? Ubuntu. Oh, well, look at that. Okay, so fine. Ubuntu, Postgres, command line client. PSQL. Install and configure. This is probably going to be, wow, did it seriously not even close that after I did that? Install PostgreSQL. Could not locate log file. Are you root? No, I am not. Sudo not found. Authentication. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. Look what I found. Oh, they're neat. I wonder which ones are the most translated. Huh, it's kind of surprising. They're only like 70% for French. Unfinished words, a ton. Wow. Wait, how many are there in English? A million? Okay. I am probably, I mean, I guess we could search for this. Weblate, add user without email. Maybe that's what I should have done first. You ready to create user accounts without emails? This is on GitLab. But is this a GitLab for Weblate? Or is this just a GitLab? Add user manually. I don't think this is a thing. Yeah, I don't think this is a thing. And I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Like what can we do? What's the simplest way? We could just make a new email account for this, right? I think we can. Yeah, I think we would just do that. Should just make a new email account on any site that lets me send emails via SMTP. I think Gmail even had a way of doing this. I could make like Skeleseller weblate at gmail.com probably. I actually don't know if I can do that, but I assume I can. And then in my instructions to translators, make sure to include the email we send from. Tell them to use new or like a unique password just in case. All right, so it's just the Skeleseller repo part. So then what's my workflow like if I do use this? Localhost 80. This tool is worth it if one has a diverse community, so don't get your hopes too high. You're saying the tool's only as good as the translators who are submitting changes here? Because, yeah, that I'm aware of. But I think if I'm not going to be getting like dedicated humans to be doing the translation, that I need some community like pass at some point. 32,000 followers. I mean, the number of followers you have on Twitch doesn't mean anything, right? It's the average viewership that you would get. Like a fraction of those people even still watch nowadays. But yeah, no, I know what you mean for sure. Okay, so where was that page and why is it so hard to find this stuff? I know it's here, but I don't know how to get there. Operations. So it's in the project. So click, you get here through your project operations, and then what? Oops. Where's the project? Project operations, repository maintenance. So this is what I need to do, or can you set this to automatically do stuff? I probably wouldn't want it to automatic. Oh wait, that's what the hooks were for. 90% translated. We're almost done. Yeah. Who would have thought? Spanish shot. There's some way to set up hooks. I want to look into that next. Fetching remote changes into WebLate. This can be automated by setting a webhook in your repository to trigger it. See, updating repositories. Yeah, this is what I wanted. You should set up some way of updating backend repositories from their source. Use notification hooks. Automatically received from GitHub. Comes with native support. If you're using hosted, the recommended approach is install the WebLate app to receive notifications on every push. It seems pretty easy. Yeah, it seems really easy. But where's the rest of the hook stuff? You must also enable hooks for this to work. Where's that? Whether unauthenticated notification hooks are to be used for this repository. Where do you do that? They mention hooks on this page? No. Bulk edit? Settings? I could have sworn I looked through this stuff already. I don't see anything in here. Oh, enable hooks. But then how do you, wasn't there a way to set this up? All right, let's turn it off and then turn it back on and see what happens. I don't think it's going to do anything. No, it didn't. Drat. Oh, hey, someone earlier said that they look up the URL for a spreadsheet with a bunch of common words for game dev. Sweatpants Studio. Yeah, did they ever find that? No. Yeah, I should probably try to find that myself at some point. Just write that down for now. Okay, well, when I set up the project, it had a way of trying to set this up too. I just don't know if you can ever get back to that UI. WebLate set up hooks. There was like a hooks wizard. You can't find this again. I don't see a picture of it here. All right, well, does this mention things about hooks? I don't know. They have a CI/CD thing though, right? Where's that? Continuous localization. Do you have any other continuous thing on here? No, it's just this. Maybe this isn't that hard. Or maybe I should try adding another project with the same thing just to see where it tried doing it, to see what it's going to do. Add a new project, delete me. Project website, save. New translation component. Component name, delete me. Source repository, repository branch. I just want to get to that same screen I was on before. Can I just hit save? Aha, this screen. Aha. Okay, I'm taking a picture of this, and we are saving this in here, so I can't possibly lose it. So configure repository hooks for automated flow of updates to Weblate. Configure push URL for automated flow of updates from Weblate. Define translation instructions. Add screenshots. So how do you get to this in the future? There's a community localization checklist, but it doesn't have a special URL. Like if I go to the same, oh no, it is that URL. What? So I can just do that and go to Skeleseller test / Skeleseller test. Page not found. Oh, there's a slash at the end. And then there's a guide at the beginning. That doesn't work. I don't see a difference. Yeah, I don't see a difference. Maybe if I just go to guide. Guide's not found. Skeleseller test. No, this doesn't exist. It's only right now that you can go to this. No, what? It lets me go to it here. Oh, maybe the project has a different name when I click the actual... Wait, what? Hold on. Delete me is there twice. I can't just type... I don't know how this happened. Hey, Tina. Just want to figure this out. Maybe it's guide / project / component. It probably is. Yeah, it must be script. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize I named them two different things. Okay, so then we just do this. Click and go to guide. Aha. Aha. To look at the localization. Oh, so that means that we must be able to get to it through the component. Like I should have been able to just do this the whole time and click this and then something in here. There's probably a checks in here somewhere, right? Insights? Failing checks? No. Oh, it's going to be in here somewhere. We are going to find it. Users duplicate add-on settings. No. We're not going to find this, are we? Really? Really? Nothing else links to this except for this? Okay, fine. So look at the localization guide, which tells you what you should do for a component. Navigate to the component and then replace. So we're here. E.g. this. And then replace projects with guide in the URL. E.g. this. So now if I go to that link, we can see this stuff. So I want to take a picture of this page because this is the shape of the page I was looking for earlier. Community localization checklist. There's got to be some way to get to this normally. Probably should have written these things in Obsidian, but I don't know for sure that I'm going to use this. Man, there's so much I got to do. All right, so how do we find that normally? Community localization checklist. They don't have a thing. Does checklist even find anything? Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Can be found in the menu of each component. Where? Where are you? What? The menu of each component? How is that supposed to help me? Component. The menu. Hey, Carl. Welcome in. Oh, is it in here somewhere? No. Does the word guide appear somewhere? No. History, failing checks. How dangerous is a WebSocket? Oh, a WebSocket on its own is not dangerous. It's like if you are in eyesight of another person, is that dangerous? No. You could talk to them. You could do danger to them if you wanted to, I guess. But it all depends on like what are you communicating over that WebSocket. But just having a WebSocket open doesn't necessarily mean it's dangerous. Oh, there it is, right there. Insights, community localization checklist. Okay, so that's where we go. Navigate to your component and then click insights and then click community localization checklist. The URL will look like this. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, that was wow. Okay, so let's take inventory. Going back to my original questions, are we going to use this and do I trust them? So it's mostly do I trust them with the GitHub credentials, I think. Because here's a risk. People are going to get access to this weblate instance. And if there's any sort of vulnerability there that lets them get push access to my repo, we have a gigantic problem. We have a gigantic problem if they get like database access and then access to Git credentials. So if we want to protect against that, we would need to make another GitHub repo, which honestly is not the end of the world. I think that's what I would do because I'm not sure that I trust them. It's not even like, do I trust this as a piece of software that I'm going to expose to other users? But it's like, if anyone found a way to get access to the database directly, and it's not unheard of that people would be able to do that, then I think we are in really, really bad shape. Because this thing would have push access to a repo. Now, are we in bad shape if they get access to the fake repo I set up? No, not really. All they'd be able to do is mess up the translations. And I mean, anyone with access to this tool can already mess up the translations. So it's not really a different attack surface. So yeah, I think we need to make a special GitHub repo with just the translation files. It can probably be public. Although should it be? It probably shouldn't be. Wait a second though. I also have this whole thing public, don't I? Where do you control access? Where's access? I don't remember where you do this. There's somewhere that you can see that. Oh, maybe it's in the project. Settings, access. Yeah, there. Visible to everybody. Okay, maybe we shouldn't have this be on. Yeah, a separate repo. That's what I'm thinking. A repo with just the translation files. That way, no one with even push access could really do that much damage. Okay, so yeah, the question is, where would this repo be public? So I guess let's answer that. And I still have this as a question too. So should the translation stuff be totally public with restricted write access? And here are the only things I can think of. If we ever try to hide a feature we're working on, having it be public would be bad. That's the only real thing that I think I care about. Although locking this down in the future is also probably not that difficult. But I guess maybe a better thing is there any benefit in having any of this be public? And maybe it's like people are interested in helping and they want to see how much help they can do. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay, fine. So then here's what I think we should do. I think we should make the GitHub repo private and the weblate thing public. That way new volunteers can see how much help is needed for a particular language. What extension do you run on Chrome to do all this without a mouse? I don't have an extension for any keyboard stuff. What are you talking about? I'm just navigating between tabs and like pressing page up and page down. If there's anything in particular you see me doing, I'm happy to tell you how I do it. So like moving list items around is just a built-in thing to Google Docs. Making lists is a keyboard shortcut in Google Docs. Okay, so I've got an answer to this question. What else do we need to do? Oh yeah, are we going to use this? So let's think about that. Benefits of WebLate. I guess just pros and cons. Pros, the interface for editing a string is pretty straightforward. There's built-in access control, granular history. When I say editing a string is straightforward, yeah, navigating to the string is not maybe the most straightforward thing, but then once you're there, it's pretty easy to just be like, oh yeah, I changed this to something else, and I'm done. Make sure the instructions... Oh, these could just be on the website itself, right? Put the instructions on WebLate itself. Although we may need a document pointing people to WebLate. And then make sure the instructions mention rights of the translation. It's volunteer work. What else I got? What does suggest do? Your suggestion is similar to the current thing. This is a test suggest. What did that just do? Oh, I want to go back to the last string. What? So this is not automatically applied. So the current one is this. And if I were to hit the check mark, it would do that. Otherwise, I click the X and it will not be a suggestion anymore. Okay. That's interesting, but I guess there are comments here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so the tool itself does everything I needed to do pretty much. Built-in comment, access control, granular history, comments, suggestions. Cons. What are the cons? Because I don't trust WebLate, I need a separate GitHub repo. Which means I need some workflow for syncing to/from that repo. And that's it, right? I mean, I think this is pointing to that we use this. It's free. But there are other projects way bigger than a game that do use it. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that WebLate has no value. I was just trying to figure out, should we use it? And is there possibly a better way? I think this is probably the best way to do it. So I am leaning toward this. I'm leaning toward this. Certainly more so than GitHub for non-technical users. It's free, and the whole point of the tool is for translations. So there are a lot of features like percentage tracking. Like, I guess, percent completion tracking will probably be valuable. Put self-host as con. I don't think it's really a con. Setting it up is going to take some time. Yeah, it'll take time to set up. But I already have the metrics server running. And I have, I mean, a whole bunch of other things like a.bot.land is running on the same machine that this thing's going to run on. So I'm running this site, the metrics server, the chatbot itself, which is running on YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. And I think that's all that machine is doing right now. Yeah. So yeah, now it'll have a third thing on it. Okay. So it's about noon. Let's write in ye old journal. Man, did this run? I can't even tell if it ran. I don't think it did. There it goes. Okay, so looked into community contributions, translations, settled on web late. Is that all I did today? Seriously? Didn't I do something else? I started the day with something I thought. Oh yeah, and also got the analyzer working. Got the string format analyzer working for the code base. Did you make your own chatbot? Yeah. That is Abbott. You take any breaks? No. I'm about to though. But before I do, I want to figure out what's this afternoon going to bring. So, oh my God, there's so much to do. There's so much to do. They want to cut a corner on community contributions. Yeah, so we did this. This is obviously the tool I'm going to do. Separate repo for translations. Other problems if I want to tag someone. What? Other problem is that I wanted to tag if something was a machine translation or not. I wonder if that's doable through here. I guess we could just machine translate everything and then write needs editing for all of them. Have you tried Firebot? No, what is Firebot? Oh, just a pre-made chatbot? No, I haven't. The last pre-made bot that I used was something called Phantom Bot. And it worked. It did what I wanted to, but it was, in my opinion, poorly coded and had a lot of rough edges. And I was just like, I don't want to deal with that stuff. I think the classic software problem is, do I make something myself and have full control, or do I use something already possibly only mostly made and deal with the consequences? I guess and deal with the consequences is there for both of these. But with something you control yourself, is like you have to update it. You have to code features you want. And with this, it's like you have to deal with bugs or updates, and you may not want to spend time like understanding their code to be able to modify it. I'm very much simplifying this stuff, but yeah, with Phantom Bot, I was just like, man, I don't want to keep using this. But it was nice that I would get any updates to, oh, I don't know what features I even needed, mostly just for chatting. So I haven't updated Abbott in a while, and I need to probably soon for a Discord problem we've been having lately with spammers. All right, so I guess we localized some things in the code base. Do we even need the wrapper functions anymore? Use deal? Oh, I think, is it deep L or something that you use? Is that what it's called? Yeah, deep L. Yeah, so I haven't, this has I think a free tier. Yeah, and they allow you actually 50,000 characters per month. Maybe I should try it. Yeah, maybe I should try it. I'll write it down. $50K characters per month for free. It may help get some translations seeded. And hey, Syra. Made my own Twitch chatbot in Node.js. It was great, but taking time to add new features is taking time from game dev. Changed my mind on this. Yeah, I think it all depends on what you need, what you want it to do. So for example, I like the idea of having points. So I have a gift command and we have a leaderboard online for points, like this is now done. It did what I wanted it to do. It's nice that it exists. If an existing bot didn't have this feature, I'd have to code it myself. But yeah, there are some rough edges with even my bot that I still need to work on. All right. So I think we're going to delete this stuff. And we'll say, I'm probably going to do this tomorrow, actually. Afternoon is going to be set up web late for real. Get everything working with credentials. Email, GitHub, etc. Run across the issue of using some bots that don't have everything you want, so you end up using 2 to 3 different pre-made bots. Yeah. Yeah, writing a bot is not necessarily fun, in my opinion. Because at its core, what a bot is supposed to do is take in some input and give you some output. And it's like, that's not very interesting to code. So you type today and it returns like Adam is whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then any other features you might want, like moderation. The output is not text, it's an action. Possibly no action. And it's like even that, like, just testing all this stuff, getting into scenarios where you can actually even realize that something's working. Like subscriptions on Twitch, for example. Let's say you want something to happen when someone subscribes. Now Twitch probably has some like test API where you can fake a subscription message maybe. But if they didn't, you'd have to get someone to subscribe to figure out what message is even sent in that case, or hope that their documentation is good enough to tell you about it. And sometimes they have events for things where it's just not clear what they even are. Twitch now has a ton of features, and probably people who use the site a lot know what they all are, like raids and cheering and subs and I don't know. Now there are these other things like combos and there's probably a bunch of different things. And it's like, okay, if you understand what all of these things are, then I guess it's fine. Hosting doesn't exist anymore. But it used to. Got replaced completely with raids now. All right, so what else do we need? Make sure strings. I kind of want to do a little bit of this, at least so that we get some translations into our tool. I also think this will be an interesting problem to work on. And I think a big question is, do we want wrapper functions for this? Like, is there any reason to do so? I don't see one currently, but it'll be obnoxious to change in the future. And we should write down that the function names are important. Translate plural tr and trn. The reason is that our xGetText generator relies on those names. And at some point we got to merge the branch. Merge the branch. Switch to main. Okay. Well, we're making good progress. I don't know if it seems like that from the outside, but I feel like I've learned a ton about this stuff. I should probably also update this, because this thing about community contributions, every time, yeah, this is not going to be the case anymore. I guess I'll write, I want to go get lunch, so I'm going to try to make this fast. And someone hold me to, I should not be streaming 10 minutes from now. So it's currently 12:18. If it's 12:28, kick me offline. All right, so originally I wanted to write some custom in-game code to allow people to see string identifiers and have a way to suggest new strings. Everyone said I over-engineered the solution. And I agreed, so I ended up using Weblate. It's a free self-hostable, well, it's free when you self-host it, I guess. I should say it's a self-hostable tool that lets you get translations from the community. All right. So yeah, this is the old stuff that I had. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my stream of consciousness document just in case I want this in the future, which I don't think I will. Paste from Markdown. Oh, that pasted stupidly. There we go. Paste from Markdown. Okay, and then let's copy this. Old note about localization. Oh, hey, Hideo. Got anything to catch a compile time which languages aren't 100% translated to not show in settings? No, and we could do something like this, but I don't think that's a problem. If something is 80% translated and then falls back to English, I think we could just say it's still a work in progress or something. But yeah, you can try this. After reading create admin, you should be able to run this in your Docker container to create a Toto user with the Toto password. Weblate shell. Oh, they have a Weblate thing in there? Oh my God, I can't type. Oh. Huh. I want to look at that folder. Oh, I should probably write some Weblate notes, by the way. Write Weblate notes in Obsidian. Maybe include what Hideo said about this. Where'd that link go? Why do I have so many tabs? Here it is. All right, where's raw there? Oh God, we're approaching the 10-minute mark. Hideo. Okay. So from django.contrib.auth, import get user model, user u equals user.objects dot create user. I wonder, there must be a change password flow then, right? I mean, let's just try this and see what happens. Paste. 68 objects imported automatically. All right, so now I can go log in an incognito tab. Give me a sec. I'm going to do this off screen. I know it's a fake user and password, but it shows my actual email address when I do this. Okay, so now I'm logged in. Can I go change my password? Preferences? Oh, I'd probably need to email me the password account. Password, change password. Click this. Current password, new password. Okay, so Toto, and we're going to call it Hunter2. New password, Hunter2, change. The password is too short. Must contain at least 10 characters. And it cleared out my current password, Hunter2222. All right, now it says your password is too guessable. It would take an offline attacker 2 seconds to guess it. Well, I already did it, so too bad. Okay, so now we log out, and then we try logging back in. And I type Toto Hunter2222. And it says the password is not found. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I don't know what the password is then. Oh, it's still Toto. Oh wow. It didn't even change my password because that was considered an error message and it just wasn't obvious to me. I know it was in red, but I thought it was just saying like anyway. All right, so I don't know what's a good password then. Let's just get a UUID. I'll never be able to log in as this user again. All right, there, that worked. Yeah, so now if I were to try to log in, sign out, go over to here, type Toto, and we get our UUID as a password and hit sign in. It works. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, good to know. The user can then change their password without needing an email. I think we'll just use an email service though, and it'll just get marked as spam for everybody. And I'll just tell people to check their spam folder. Did I write this down somewhere else? Where is that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, so I should go. I said kick me offline after 10 minutes. I'm going to get lunch. It is about 12:30. I'll be back by probably about 1:30. And I think this afternoon, we're just going to keep moving forward with some of this. I want to start localizing some of the code base just for English and probably gut our source generators. That's going to be a decent amount of work. And maybe we'll do some AI queries to try translating some of this stuff. But that's all for now. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you're here in about an hour. I'll see you later. Goodbye.